Greetings, everyone. This evening, we embark on a journey through the extraordinary life of a woman whose very being was a blend of artistry and resilience, yet largely overlooked and misinterpreted by much of the Western world. The tale of the Geisha. Before you settle in, why not take a moment to show your appreciation by liking the video and subscribing? Do so only if you truly enjoy the journey we embark on together. Share with me in the comments your location and the time on your clock as you join this journey. It's a captivating experience to witness the diverse individuals who come together from every corner of the globe. Now, let us lower the lights, perhaps activate a fan to create a gentle backdrop of sound, and prepare to embark on tonight's adventure together in the vibrant streets of Edo, where the aroma of tea wafts through the air and rice traders barter. With fervor, you find yourself amidst a tapestry of wandering monks and a curious crowd, each convinced they are the reincarnations of legendary warlords, filling every block with tales of their past lives. As a girl, your path unfolds with three captivating choices steeped in history. Choose a life of monotony, embrace solitude, and carry the weight of what could have been. Step into the Okia, the Geisha house, where the next 2 decades unfold. As you serve tea to inebriated aristocrats, all the while donning a mask of empowerment. At the tender age of 6, in your world, bugs hold a certain fascination, yet you remain blissfully unaware of the choice your parents have quietly made. Prepare yourself to embrace the art of becoming a geisha. Not today, my friend. Today, you find yourself gliding through the streets adorned in your finest kimono, a garment that, while beautiful, feels uncomfortably snug and slightly irritating against your skin. But soon, oh so soon, the delightful days of indulgent snacks and blissful naps will give way to a demanding journey of learning to hide your feelings. The Okia resembles a library that has intertwined with a temple, nurturing a child who matured into someone emotionally aloof. A figure appears at the threshold, revealing Oka-san, the matriarch of the geisha house. She possesses an uncanny ability to gauge your value simply by the way you lower your head. A smile attempts to break free from your lips. She simply does not. Your parents offer a respectful bow, exchange a few solemn words, and depart, leaving you in their wake like a character, caught in a poignant moment of parting. The moment has arrived. You have been officially entrusted to another's care. You belong here, just as you are. You belong to someone now. Fear not, for you shall master the art of curtsying amidst the trials you face. Welcome to the world of shikomi. That's an elegant term for a young one who cleans and polishes. In the quiet moments, you will find yourself scrubbing floors, preparing baths, and carrying water, with the occasional tear finding its way into your sleeve. Quietly, naturally, your role is to observe the geisha, remain silent, and take in every detail through sheer presence. In the quiet of the night, you find your rest in the hallway. In the grand tapestry of life, your meal comes at the end of the feast. And the house expects you to settle the debt for the rice you just scattered. The geisha glide by, ethereal and enchanting, as if they are woven from the very fabric of dreams. Their hair is a masterpiece of artistry. With each movement, they tread softly as if the world around them holds its breath. Their eyes convey a silent warning, urging you to keep your breath as soft as a whisper. And you? Behold, a mere vessel of absorption, clad in humble wooden footwear. Yet, your gaze remains fixed. You are on a journey of discovery, and if your knees remain steadfast, there may come a day when you effortlessly glide through a room, free from the call to fetch the towels. Your mornings awaken with the first light, and your evenings stretch into the twilight, only concluding when your weary body can no longer carry on. With a gentle sweep, you caress the tatami floors, coax the charcoal fires to life, tenderly wash the exquisite kimono fabric that holds more value than your very essence, and embark on quests to fetch the needed items. Ever in pursuit, cozy slippers, refreshing water, soothing tea, an extra splash of water, the beloved sandals, and the other cherished pair of sandals. By noon, you've traversed a distance that would rival the journeys of the most dedicated samurai over an entire year, and woe betide you if you dare to disturb the silence. Shikomi's bound to silence, quiet as a ghostly dwelling. Only share your voice when invited, and when called upon, reply with swiftness. But let us not rush, for that would be a disservice to the tale. Furthermore, avoid gazing directly at the senior geisha, unless their eyes meet yours, for then you find yourself caught in an unintended gaze. Truly, the act of blinking has transformed into a statement of defiance in today's world. No formal lessons are imparted to you. There exists no place of learning. Your journey through learning is woven with threads of keen observation, moments of humility, and the rhythm of repetition. You discover the art of folding an obe as you witness a master perform the task with breathtaking swiftness. You hone your craft of bowing until your spine whispers its grievances. You hold back tears as you face yet another unsuccessful attempt at pouring tea for the 50th time. Yet, in some way, clarity begins to dawn upon you. How they gracefully position the fan, just so. Laughter dances in rhythm, echoing the precise cadence of a drumbeat. Walking unfolds as a dance of toes and timing, each step a graceful movement in the rhythm of life. One comes to understand that the life of a geisha transcends mere appearances. It revolves around meticulousness, mastery, and possessing the social instincts of a diplomat navigating a field of hidden dangers. And yet, you remain merely a shikomi in the shadows. You remain unseen until your value emerges. And even then, you linger in the background, a mere figure with a cloth in hand. Should fortune smile upon you, the older girls may show you kindness, or they may regard you as a living lesson, a narrative of warning to be heeded. Regardless of the circumstances, you maintain a low profile and stay attuned to the world around you. For within lies a hidden truth. In the beginning, all paths converged at this very spot. Once, even the most elegant and poised geisha in the house found herself on her knees, scrubbing this very floor, all while being scolded for the improper way she dried the chopsticks. And thus you persevere, softly, and you bide your time, longing for the moment when you can set aside the mundane and embrace your true significance. Having perfected the delicate balance of transporting tea while remaining unseen, it's time to elevate your abilities. No, not twirling or strumming melodies. Stay grounded and take it one step at a time. To begin your journey, you must first discover the art of sitting, for what felt like an eternity, with unwavering calm, or inhaling, with too much fervor. Step into the world of posture training, the revered and time-honored Japanese practice of transforming your knees into pretzels and your spine into bamboo. In a moment of reverence, you find yourself kneeling in seiza, the poised posture where your legs rest gracefully folded beneath you. Your posture is upright, and your circulation softly surrenders. In the beginning, a peculiar sensation washes over you as your legs succumb to numbness after just 3 fleeting minutes. Then they begin to murmur ominous threats. After 10, your entire lower body has officially staged a rebellion. Yet the rules bind you, preventing any change or extend, or let out a cry, for they embody elegance and poise. They remain unflinching. They remain still. They embrace suffering as if it were a deliberate expression of art. And so, you too start to bow, perpetually. Countless methods exist to perform a bow, each possessing their own delicate nuances. A humble bow of greeting, a bow of thanks, a bow of contrition, Oh, I humbly ask that you spare me from the consequences of my mere existence. You discover the art of tilting your head to just the perfect angle. Maintain your grip for just the perfect count of seconds, and ascend with a grace that evokes the delicate unfurling of rice paper in a gentle wind. Naturally, you'll stumble along the way. All do. You'll bend the knee too swiftly, or perhaps lacking in depth. Or the ultimate dread, graze the floor with the very tips of your fingers at the precise, yet perilous, angle. A voice will rise, soft yet piercing, echoing the sorrow of unfulfilled expectations. One also learns the art of posture during the serene moments of tea ceremonies. Your knees should stay bent, even when your spirit yearns to break free from its earthly confines. One must glide as if immersed in the depths of the ocean. Leisurely, graceful, consider with intention. If you happen to sneeze, well, you've just brought shame upon your forebears. Yet, amidst the turmoil and the silent cries within, a transformation unfolds. You begin to lift your chin with newfound confidence. Your steps grow softer. More intentional. You transition away from childhood. Deeper darkness. Here is where your journey of understanding unfolds. The journey of a geisha is not merely a performance. It revolves around mastery. Above your voice, across your form, regarding the perception of your presence in the world. You are embarking on a journey to master the art of disappearing in a captivating manner. After countless hours of scrubbing floors, enduring the agony of your knees, and adopting the stance of a modest statue, the long-awaited words finally reach your ears. The time has come for you to embrace the path of a Mako. It's akin to receiving the news that you've ascended from the realm of the unseen to the status of a decorative figure in the human world. Well done. You have now stepped into the world of a Mako, a novice in the art of geisha. Thus, in a twist of fate, the true anguish is only just commencing. Our journey begins with the hair. Your head shall transform into a vibrant work of art, alive with expression and creativity. Expert hair artisans come equipped with lacquer, wax, pins, and an intriguing air of tranquility. With deft hands, they weave your hair into the legendary Nihongami style, a magnificent, intricate masterpiece crafted over hours, yet vulnerable to the slightest misstep, like a single sneeze that could bring it all crashing down. Rest eludes you when you lie down. No. One must embrace the use of a takamakura, a carefully crafted wooden-necked pillow, artfully designed to cradle your head in an elevated position, ensuring that your cherished hair remains untouched by the world around it, particularly the essence of common sense. To rest in such a manner is a true challenge of determination and the fortitude of one's neck. One learns to embrace it over time. In a way, yes. In due course, perhaps. And now, let us unveil the ensemble. Your new kimono is a beautifully crafted masterpiece. It boasts a stunning beauty, a weight that commands attention, and a design that unmistakably reflects a disdain for shoulders. The sleeves extend gracefully, capable of brushing against the delicate blooms of a tiny garden. The obi, a beautiful sash, is intricately tied in a knot that rests gracefully halfway up your back, its weight comparable to that of a small child. Each day, the act of getting dressed unfolds like a carefully crafted tale where assistance plays a vital role in the narrative, frequently from a handful of individuals who have mastered the timeless craft of draping fabric around a person, resulting in a blend that is 3/4 kimono and 1/4 of wistfulness. Next, we have the kanzashi, those exquisite adornments for your hair. These are exquisite, seasonal creations, possessing a sharpness that could easily deem them as light ornaments. Adorned upon your head, they signify not only your status, but also the journey of your growth and mastery. One misstep with a hairpin, and the entire room becomes aware that you've crossed a line into the realm of fashion faux pas, a transgression that invites the weight of embarrassment. In the enchanting world of a Maiko, your role unfolds like a delicate narrative where you observe, mimic, and at times present tea, all while adorned in the ethereal guise of a living cherry blossom. One must tread lightly, for the air is thick with unspoken rules. Laughter is a whisper, and curiosity is a dangerous spark. You embody creativity, not mere observation. Yet, amidst the discomfort, the throbbing scalp, and the caution against sneezing near flames, there stirs another sensation within you. You have stepped into the light, no longer shrouded in shadows. Eyes are drawn to you, and not solely due to the fact that your attire can be seen from Space Dot. There isn't a singular moment of revelation when you awaken and declare, "Yes, I have truly become an apprentice geisha." It unfolds like a deliberate, ritualistic ascent, adorned with silk, infused with incense, and tinged with a hint of low-grade tension. Ah, but the moment you step into the world as a Mako, that is a tale unto itself. That day arrives wrapped in ritual and laden with expectation. Imagine, if you will, a grand affair reminiscent of a debutante ball from the Edo period. Yet, instead of the elegance of dance and the clinking of glasses, there is a scene filled with kneeling, the heat of exertion, and an elaborate 2-hour ritual of hairstyling involving hot wax. Years of dedication have shaped you, bending like a revered figure, mastering the intricate art of pouring tea with an elegance that belies the act itself. At last, the moment has arrived for you to unveil your visage, adorned in a striking shade of white to the distinguished circles of Kyoto, and they observe you with a blend of politeness and intensity, silently critiquing, their folding fans a subtle accompaniment to their scrutiny. Adorned in your most intricate kimono to date, you drape yourself in layers of vivid silk, each piece worth more than the very home you were born into. It stretches out endlessly, trailing behind you like a costly mistake that lingers in the shadows. Your obi is tied in the Dorari style, a long trailing sash that whispers tales of fresh beginnings, inviting all to witness the journey of its wearer. Your visage is now adorned, a canvas of white rice powder stretching from forehead to neck, with striking red and black embellishments framing your eyes. Your lips, a perfect bow, are painted with care, though only the bottom lip at first, for it seems that the art of a novice is to embrace the charm of a half-lip approach. As you traverse the bustling streets in Yorokobo, those platform sandals that seem to echo tales of medieval torment, curious eyes turn to follow your every step, not due to your fame, but rather because you are a freshly adorned Mako, and such a sight is truly a rarity. Moreover, your pace is quite leisurely, is the sole pace at our disposal. And so arrives the moment of your misodashi, the grand occasion of your formal debut ceremony. As you step into the room, you encounter clients for the first time, offering warm greetings to patrons and sharing your craft with elders who fondly recall the days when their necks still moved with ease. With each step taken, every smile shared, and each sip of tea savored, a challenge unfolds. And failure isn't met with shouts, but rather with a heavy sense of disappointment. What could be more dire? Yet, against all odds, you endure. You navigate the ritual, the performance, the parade with grace and determination. One navigates the scene with grace, avoiding any missteps, spills, or unintended slights to those of high standing. This, in the world of geishas, is a remarkable triumph. And in that moment, you have stepped into the enchanting world of a Mako. Part child, part porcelain figure, entirely a captivating spectacle. Embracing the life of a Mako brings forth a tapestry of responsibilities. As the tea flowed gracefully from the pot, a dance of elegance unfolded, while the air was thick with unspoken words, and the art of feigned ignorance took center stage. Yet none of them hold a candle to the cherished daily tradition that you embrace. The visage. Your makeup routine has transformed into an elaborate mission, complete with strategy and precision. First, generously apply a rich layer of white rice powder to your face, neck, and chest. Its chalky scent and glue-like texture create an experience that seeps deep into your very essence. It dries quicker than the flicker of hope and hardens like stone. Once it takes hold, you transcend your humanity. You are a blank slate, ready to be filled with colors and tailies. Next, we turn our attention to the eyebrows. Is it yours? Vanished. Enveloped in a fine dusting, fresh tailies? Sketched with the rich, dark strokes of charcoal, slender, shadowy, and solemn, as if harboring a hidden truth. Now we arrive at the third step, the eyes. With a delicate hand, you glide a fine brush, dipped in a blend of red and black across her eyelids, each stroke precise enough to adorn the tiniest of canvases. With a single twitch, you transform from a graceful apprentice into a creature of shadows, reminiscent of a haunted raccoon. And then the lips whispered secrets. In the world of a junior Mako, the artistry of makeup is a delicate dance where only the bottom lip is graced with color. What is the reason behind this? Heritage. There's a whisper of wisdom about humility, a gentle reminder to keep one's ego in check. With meticulous care, you adorn it in a vibrant red, crafting it into the delicate form of a tiny bow. It is regarded as a thing of beauty. It transforms the act of eating into a complex and intriguing masterpiece. Errors are met with no acceptance. Mark your lip with a touch of color. Begin anew, imperfect eyeliner. Completely out of the question. The concept of eyeliner is still a figment of the imagination. You're blending powdered minerals with a touch of saliva and a hint of sorrow. As you finish, your gaze meets the mirror, revealing a reflection that is both timeless and fearsome. A cherished figure of imagination, a radiant, ethereal, delicate, enchanting doll, with the grace of a dancer and the appetite of a tiny creature, nibbling away at life's offerings. But let me share this with you. Behind the facade, you are discovering strength. This appearance captivates the gaze. It proclaims, I am a legacy adorned in artistry, and I shall assess your awkward chopstick skills. The makeup serves a purpose. Beyond mere appearance, it serves the purpose of protection. It sets you apart from the everyday women. It conveys to all that your role is to captivate, not merely to engage. It gently informs your pores that their time has come to an end. Hope you didn't grow too fond of drawing air through your skin. This face you wear is not for your own reflection. You adorn yourself in a way that makes the world overlook your tender age of 15, allowing them to see you as a masterpiece instead. At first glance, one might assume that the geisha's most powerful assets are her enchanting beauty, the elegance of her kimono, or perhaps the striking metal hairpin she adorns herself with, seemingly for decoration alone. But that would be a misstep in judgment. Her true arsenal is twofold. The shamisen, a vessel of sound, weaves the tale of an age-old craft that transforms the mundane into the extraordinary, breathing life into the stories of those who may feel overlooked. Imagine picking up the shamisen, a 3-stringed instrument that resembles a weaponized spatula, yet produces the hauntingly beautiful sounds of a melancholy banjo. Engaging in this activity demands a fluidity of movement, a sense of timing, and dexterous fingers that remain as supple as a dancer's. With dedication, you immerse yourself in hours of practice each day, crafting sounds that start as a distressed feline and transform into a harmonious atmosphere. Your instructors are relentless. A single missed note draws forth a gentle sigh. 2 missed notes draws a curious glance. 3 missed notes, and you find yourself on a journey back to refine the instrument. coaxing it to resonate with a harmony far removed from the chaos of a kitchen mishap. Yet, music represents merely a portion of the whole tale. What about the other half? Dialogue. You're embarking on a journey of expression. You're discovering the art of weaving words with nuance. Ways to offer sincere compliments. How to imply, without guaranteeing. How to maintain a captivating conversation with a man while subtly orchestrating tomorrow's dance routine in your mind, all while nodding with genuine interest. You wield subtlety with the finesse of a master craftsman. When a client brings up his wealth, you offer a gentle smile and gracefully steer the conversation towards the moon. Should he attempt to flirt with too much bravado, you might praise his choice of sandals and suggest another round of steak. You possess the art of elegant evasion. The beauty of the verses. You weave together countless verses about blossoms, streams, and the ache of lost love. One can recite Basho while pouring tea, all the while keeping an eye on those who may have indulged a bit too much, all while maintaining an upright posture and elevating your voice just above the tumultuous cries within. At this point, you understand that the essence of being a Mako transcends mere entertainment. It revolves around the art of navigating feelings, your very own, the individuals you serve. The chambers. Your understanding of emotions surpasses your ability to decipher words. There are moments when laughter bubbles up, times to hold your breath in suspense, and instances where you gracefully choose to overlook the unsettling whispers that linger in the air. Welcome to the beginning of your journey, a blend of melody and understanding. Every act unfolds like a grand spectacle. And the chilling twist? Your skills are truly blossoming. Indeed. The Dana. The term carries an air of sophistication, a hint of enigma, and a courteousness that cleverly conceals its true significance. A prosperous gentleman, whose backing of your journey comes with threads of duty so intricately entwined, they resemble a noose ready to tighten. The notion reaches your ears at the very beginning. A Dana, they say, is a revered figure who cherishes the arts, supports your education, and assists with the lavish expenses of kimono, hair ornaments, and the essentials of life. In exchange, your role is to offer him companionship, ensure he feels valued, and preferably refrain from fleeing into the darkness. It lacks a sense of romance. This is not a tale woven in the style of Jane Austen. This is a transaction draped in elegance. Your Dana is not a choice you get to make. The dwelling selects its own. Your occasion assesses reputation, wealth, and social connections with the keen eye of a connoisseur discerning the subtleties of vintage insecurities. In that moment, you are urged to wear a smile, to feign interest in the man before you who, with his decades of experience and labored breaths, presents himself as a figure of intrigue. Let it be known, not every Dana anticipates specific favors. There are those who truly appreciate the arts, relishing the presence of a skilled and witty woman, capable of engaging in conversations about poetry and politics, all while maintaining her composure and never interrupting. Some are not. The lines are blurred, whispered only in the shadows of culture. And the weight of expectation is overwhelming. Your home is a responsibility you hold. Your future is a debt waiting to be paid. Knees are bearing the weight of yet another 10 pounds of fabric, throbbing with the burden they carry. And thus, you embark on a journey of mastering the delicate dance of emotional equilibrium. There is a warmth in your approach, a sense of camaraderie and consideration that shines through. You craft an artful dance of affection, enchanting those around you, all while your spirit remains tucked away, hidden behind a gentle smile. If the weight of emotional toil were to be taxed, the shogunate would find itself in dire straits. At times, everything falls into place. A Dana could be your steadfast supporter for many years to come, protecting you from the brink of financial despair while offering a comforting space to navigate through the challenges. At times, one acquires the remarkable skill to drift away in thought while feigning interest in yet another tale about grain taxes, even if it's the 10th retelling. Regardless of the circumstances, the system lacks the essence of love. It's all about the power of influence, and the sole path to endure it is to master the art of shifting the scales back to your advantage, all while donning 3 layers of brocade and feigning ignorance to the flames engulfing the room. Once upon a time, a curious stranger approached you, offering a peculiar pair of shoes that resembled tiny wooden structures, and with a twinkle in their eye, urged you to slip them on. Behold the Okobo, magnificent platform sandals, crafted from sturdy wood, defying all odds to claim their place in the world. Crafted not for mere comfort, but for the grandeur of ceremony, the allure of elegance, and perhaps a hint of vengeance, these sandals are the exclusive domain of the Mako. To don them is to embrace the expectation of gliding, not walking, through the streets of Kyoto, all while maintaining poise, avoiding missteps, and suppressing any tears that may threaten to spill. The Okobo elevate your stature, bestow an air of elegance, and distance you from the ordinary essence of humanity. Your steps have transformed, no longer resembling those of a human being. You move with the grace of a ceremonial parade. The aim's to glide through each moment so seamlessly that onlookers remain blissfully unaware of the fierce struggle for survival hidden behind every movement. There is an absence of softness. Naturally, they do not doubt welcome to the enchanting world of Edo, Japan. Your feet ache with a persistent throb. Your calves cry out in protest. Your balance transforms into a dedicated pursuit. May the heavens have mercy upon you if the skies open up. Slippery Okobo on stone streets transforms each journey to a tea house into a thrilling adventure, akin to an Olympic-level challenge. The sound they produce, a sharp CLOP-CLOP, carries intention. As a Mako glides gracefully along the street, all eyes are drawn to her presence. A steady click now sets the scene for your journey dot. It's a sight to behold. It carries a legacy. It reveals your location to everyone within a 5-block radius at all times. Nuance. Excessively praised. In time, your legs find their rhythm. In a way, yes. You uncover hidden strength in your ankles that you never knew was there. One discovers the art of descending gracefully. You master the craft of navigating corners with a slow, elegant flair, each step imbued with a touch of dramatic precision. Just when you believe you've got it all figured out, a 12-pound obi is fastened around your waist, and off you go to a client dinner, facing the challenge of 3 flights of stairs ahead. Donning Okobo marks a significant journey in one's life, serves as a gentle nudge that you remain on the path of learning. Full geisha don flatter shoes, a symbol of their journey, for they have reached a stage where their grace no longer demands the burden of visible discomfort. And you? The journey. To earn it continues. With each deliberate thud of wood against the ground. Allow me to clarify a point. In the world of artistry and charm, a geisha captivates as a true performer. Step into the spotlight and let your talents shine. With every step, you weave a tale of movement and grace. With a voice that dances through the air, you weave melodies that captivate the heart. With a graceful hand, you pour the sake, your movements imbued with a playful charm that dances lightly in the air, as if the very atmosphere shifts around you. You embody a masterpiece, your strength found in the elegance of simplicity. Your words are perfectly measured. You unveil just the right amount. In that hallowed realm where reverence meets separation, you find your essence. A courtesan, known as an oiran, is a refined companion skilled in the delicate craft of delight. Their role encompasses multiple layers of performance, yet there exists one notable distinction. Often, their tales culminate in the intimacy of a bedroom. It concludes with a resounding ovation, a graceful bow, and weary feet. The muddled imagery adds to the disarray. Each is adorned in intricate kimono, a tapestry of tradition and artistry. Each adorns their head with intricate and elaborate hairstyles. But here's your guide to the tale. When the obi is fastened at the front, it signifies her role as a courtesan. Swift entry. If it's fastened at the back, she embodies the essence of a geisha. Gradual departure. It is my pleasure. Yet all of that fades away when you find yourself surrounded by a group of men who, after viewing a single poor film, believe that the term geisha is a secret signal for something alluring. In this journey, you cultivate a remarkable ability to gently guide others, all the while ensuring they leave the conversation feeling enlightened, as if they imparted wisdom upon you. It's a dance of words. One might express, "Oh, how delightful." It is to see your curiosity shining through. Our customs unfold in a manner that diverges significantly from that. Grin, take a sip, shift your focus, and do it all over again. Throughout your journey, you'll find yourself sharing this very explanation countless times. Its necessity will endure endlessly. Yet with every act of elegance, you reaffirm the line that defines you. With each fluid phrase, a tale unfolds. For a geisha, maintaining composure is essential, even when faced with misunderstandings about one's true identity. Once more, as a maiko and in time, a geisha, you are called to perfect the arts of music, dance, and etiquette, along with the subtle art of appearing enchanted, while a gentleman expounds on rice tariffs for an entire two hours. Yet, what is the skill that proves to be the most valuable, yet remains largely untaught? Declining an offer. In a world where possibilities abound, one might find themselves navigating the delicate art of refusal, all while maintaining an air of grace and diplomacy. Ah, but one mustn't simply cast aside another without a thought. Such behavior would be quite impolite, and even more unfortunate, lacking in elegance. In the world of elegance and artistry, a geisha's role is not to speak harsh truths. Your worth resides in nuance, in the art of implication, in the skill to gracefully shift from an idea like a butterfly flitting through the air. Imagine a client stepping into the realm of boldness. Perhaps he inclines just a touch too close, praises your eyes with a frequency that feels almost excessive, or casually suggests, "Maybe we could rendezvous somewhere more confidential. Do not strike him." There's no need for raised voices. That's a display of inexperience. Instead, you offer a charming smile, tilt your head slightly, and say something like, "Ah, it seems you have quite the appeal with the ladies." This line carries no weight, yet it serves to compliment him, shifts the dialogue, and grants you a brief moment to replenish his drink, allowing you to act as if the previous moment never occurred. A timeless tale. Alas, what a pity. That day is quite packed for me. This unfolds seamlessly, even in the absence of a designated day. Amidst the delicate layers of silk and the art of subtlety, your days are filled with an intricate dance of engagements, each one a carefully crafted enigma. Or you bring forth the time-honored tradition. Joyful echoes of mirth dot with a light-hearted chuckle. A subtle shake of the head ensued, leading to a smooth transition to a new topic. It's a graceful performance. A tale where you guide, and they remain blissfully unaware that as the days pass, you master the art of sidestepping conversation. One can turn down an invitation thrice, all the while ensuring the other feels like the star of the evening. Indeed, it can be quite draining. Yet, it is a form of artistry. A legacy shared among women, akin to a hidden tome inscribed with the art of gestures and the elegance of subtle defiance. For in the heart of it all lies a truth waiting to be unveiled, that the role of a geisha transcends mere indulgence of desire. It's about guiding it, to harness it, to weave an enchanting atmosphere in the room, all the while maintaining a firm grip on the wheel. And what if everything goes awry? With a gentle smile and a graceful bow, one might say, what a fascinating notion. That often works wonders. The ocean may appear tranquil. Delicate partitions, warm illumination, the soothing melody of shamisen drifting softly around. Yet, do not be deceived that it's a scene of conflict. Not one who wields swords or raises their voice in a clamor. No, geisha wars are more subtle, precise, like being gradually taken down with sweet words. Every geisha house unfolds like a meticulously crafted tale, where a hidden world of hierarchy, rivalry, and subtle retribution weaves itself through the delicate threads of silk. In a realm filled with fierce intellects and unwavering spirits, you find yourself amidst women who embody strength and resilience, each one expertly navigating the battlefield of life with a smile that masks the chaos around them. Has someone taken your obi without your permission? Ah, what a kind gesture. Did another Mako come to dinner adorned with the same seasonal hairpin? What a remarkable twist of fate. Did your shamisen solo unexpectedly find a new home with someone else at the last moment? Merely a miscommunication. The kind that mysteriously seems to favor the girl who stands out in the crowd. Your ability to grasp new concepts is impressive. Not every smile carries warmth. Not every kind word holds truth. And always, always keep your cosmetics close at hand. Ah, but there lies a code indeed. There are no cries or strikes. That's for those who have yet to hone their craft. In this tale, vengeance is delivered with elegance. Just one more syllable in a haiku's dance. A gentle nudge towards improvement during our practice, highlighting a misstep. A gentle murmur to a client, hinting that perhaps, just perhaps, you caught wind of something intriguing regarding that other Mako's conduct at the recent tea ceremony. Whispers in the okia traveled with the swiftness of flames dancing upon a paper lantern. One strives to rise above it, naturally, but in time you will find yourself drawn in. Perhaps you have become the cherished one. Perhaps your dance was simply too enchanting. Perhaps a whimsical spirit has taken hold, and before you know it, your sandals have vanished into thin air. Serendipity? Indeed, one thrives by embracing the art of graciousness, with purpose and intent. You excel at the craft of offering praise that subtly suggests the contrary. Your new kimono radiates such vibrant energy. I could never don something so bold. In time, you shall soar beyond it. Truly dot as a fully fledged geisha. You will hold a higher status than the apprentices, enjoying the privilege of your own room, dedicated clients, and a reduced likelihood of those unfortunate spills on your attire. But until that moment arrives, let the battles of fandom commence. They remain hushed, they show no mercy. And they are battled with elegance, precision, and a timely arch of the eyebrow. In this place, there is no need for protection. One must possess a reflective surface, a recollection, and the skill to express gratitude as if it were a cautionary tale. After countless moments of submission, gracious gestures, and the struggle to stifle a cry into your obi, the awaited day finally dawns. You have stepped beyond the world of the Mako. You have stepped into the world of a geisha. Change weaves its way in quietly. No grand spectacle, no celebratory fireworks. One day, you awaken to find that you are no longer just the girl in training. You have become the benchmark that everyone else aspires to reach. And curiously, the ache in your knees lingers on. Your wardrobe transforms. The vividly colored, high-sleeved Mako kimono, once a sight to behold, has now faded into memory, leaving behind the essence of a walking flower arrangement. Your new appearance carries a quiet sophistication, a refined elegance that suggests you've reached a point where your style reflects your thoughtful perspectives. What about your hair? Gratitude to the divine forces. It has transformed beyond a mere weekly creation of wax and determination. Now, a wig adorns your head. Indeed, a wig. It weighs more than your head, yet it still demands the effort of an entire salon and a touch of magic to tame. Yet you can once more drift into slumber like any ordinary soul dot, in other words. Not well and upon a futon. Ah, but what about the most significant transformation? You now take the stage solo. You have chosen to step away from following now. Take the reins. One must take the stage, weaving a tapestry of delight and allure, captivating the audience all on their own. Your shamisen solos have grown in length, Dot. Your dialogues sparkle with cleverness. One must embody serenity, grace, and most importantly, mastery over oneself. Clients have moved beyond viewing you as charming. They perceive you as formidable, not in a manner of clashing steel and fiery fortresses, but rather in the subtle power of a single raised eyebrow that can unravel an entire dialogue. Your finesse is unparalleled. You've transformed elegance into a powerful force. When you share your words, others lean in, captivated by your voice. Or rather, when you decide to weave your words into the tapestry of conversation. For they possess the exquisite mastery of influence. Silence, a precious gem, is employed with intention. And with this newfound status arrives a weight of responsibilities, Dot. It is essential to guide the younger Mako on their journey. One must greet clients with a smile, even if it has been shared 1,000 times before. One must bear the burden of heritage, of anticipation, of countless generations of artistic expression. Yet beneath the surface, a change stirs within. You've shed the facade. You have transformed into the very essence that the Okya has meticulously crafted you to be. More than a woman in a kimono, she embodies elegance, enigma, and the art of meticulously crafted emotional expression. Your training has come to an end. You embody the legacy. So you've made it through the trials and tribulations. You've twirled gracefully, served tea with elegance, and beamed through ages of heritage, skillfully sidestepping missteps in Okobo to uncover the silent narrative woven into every geisha's journey. What comes next in this unfolding tale? For within this tale lies a truth that remains unspoken. Geisha never truly step away from their art, not in the usual way. There's no grand occasion where a golden fan is bestowed upon you, accompanied by a heartfelt note of gratitude. Dot. There is no pension awaiting you. Once upon a time, you simply slowly diminish from the limelight, much like a candle that has melted down to its last flicker. Some geisha embark on the journey of becoming teachers. Dot. With just a glance, you transform into the guide who adjusts the bow's angle, bringing harmony to the scene. As you gracefully showcase the shamisen once more, you can sense the Mako's mind, drifting towards the allure of lunch, her gaze wandering beyond the strings and melodies. You have transformed into a timeless tale, a testament that elegance endures and transcends fleeting trends. Some take on the role of nurturing figures, the beloved caregivers. Indeed, her, the woman who once scrutinized your bow as if it were a transgression against the very fabric of society. Dot. And now, there you are, poised by the sliding door, examining the new shikomi with the look of one who fears the rice pot may be in peril. You command the household. In this realm, you hold the power to shape the narrative, and you hold the power to determine who ascends, and who tends to the entryway once more until they master the art of walking without creating a thunderous commotion. There are instances where some geisha find love and choose to marry, subtly, with purpose and foresight, perhaps even to a former Dana who still walks among us, possessing the grace not to inquire about the price of things. You exchange one kind of expression for another, the craft of finding joy within the rhythms of home life. Yet numerous geisha persist in their journey. Take your time, more subdued, yet ever so keen. You curate more personal gatherings. Your focus shifts from merely performing to truly being in the moment. In silence, the weight of meaning grows. Your nod can transform the atmosphere of a gathering. Your absence echoes in the silence. There is no dramatic farewell. The show goes on, with no end in sight. You seamlessly blend into the darkness, enveloped in the soft embrace of silk, continuing to flow like a lyrical verse with graceful steps. And even as your public appearances become infrequent, your name endures. Handed down by the younger geisha, who continue to embody the graceful gestures you once mastered. At this point, your knees have taken on the distinct form of tatami mats, a testament to the stories they could tell. Your spine aligns with a sudden awareness. Your voice, a harmonious tune, carries significance, not due to its volume, but rather because it seldom requires it. You have transcended the role of a mere geisha. You are the essence of recollection brought to life. Your name may not be etched in stone or found within the pages of textbooks. Your path to recognition may not unfold as you hope. There's no captivating moment of you gracefully pouring tea or weaving together verses of waka poetry with the gentle strumming of shamisen strings. Yet, the mark you leave behind doesn't require a loud presence. In the next girl, there exists a tale of resilience as she kneels on weary legs, striving to maintain the delicate balance of her lip paint while crafting a half-smile that conceals her fatigue yet shines with an undeniable allure. It resides in the manner in which the fan unfurls, clear, exact, and hushed, an act that has withstood the test of time, transcending the rise and fall of countless empires. It resides in the hushed moments that linger between phrases at a gathering, where your essence subtly alters the ambience, even if no one recalls the day you first stepped into the spotlight, or the identity of the patron who acquired your inaugural seasonal comb. Your role was never to raise your voice. It was destined to leave an indelible mark in ways that would elude the grasp of ordinary words. To enchant, not entice. To imply, not assert. To transform a meal into a ritual and a look into a declaration. And amidst the trials, you emerged. Unscathed, you emerged victorious from the trials, bearing the burden of legacy, and faced the shoes that sought to bring you down. You navigated through the maze of assumptions, faced the fierce competition, dealt with clients who confused performance with permission, and weathered the relentless whispers that lingered longer than their creation. Yet above all, you navigated through with grace. In a realm where perfection and silence reigned supreme, you carved out a sanctuary for self-ownership. You shaped a life that was a blend of artistry and defiance, all without ever needing to raise your voice. And perhaps your name will remain unspoken in the tales woven about Kyoto. There will be a soul who savors their tea in that very manner. A figure glides through, adorned in a kimono, moving with a grace that leaves no sound in their wake. A figure will flash a smile, their eyes holding a mystery, and utter just enough, and not a single word beyond that. And in that moment, your presence will linger on, not as a specter, but as a lasting tale. Cast aside the notion of candlelit dinners or moonlit serenades. In the ancient land of Sumer, where civilization first took root, the institution of marriage was woven not from threads of romance, but from the practical fabric of record-keeping. Affection was a choice. Agreements were absent. In the ancient lands of southern Iraq, over 4,000 years ago, a remarkable civilization emerged, the Sumerians. They were pioneers in the art of binding hearts and lives, crafting the very first written agreements to formalize the sacred union of marriage. And by written, we mean inscribed into moist clay with a stylus. These were not promises of everlasting love. They wove together the threads of economic transactions. The cuneiform tablet meticulously detailed the contributions of each party entering the union. And indeed, unconditional love was never among the treasures enumerated. The bride arrived, bringing with her a treasure trove of dowry livestock. exquisite textiles, devoted servants, and even parcels of land. The groom's family may offer a bride price, a practice that feels less like a kind-hearted gesture and more akin to a deposit. Should the union falter, the tablet revealed in no uncertain terms what would be lost, returned, or reclaimed. Indeed, Sumerian unions were accompanied by early forms of agreements to safeguard interests. Your romantic journey might just be scrutinized, yet. The Sumerians ventured beyond mere cold transactions. Marriage stood as a fundamental pillar in the tapestry of social harmony. Women were seen as the embodiment of loyalty and the promise of new life. Men held the weighty responsibility of providing and protecting, or at the very least, ensuring the family's honor remained intact during public ceremonies. In tales of betrayal, the consequences for a wife's infidelity could be severe, with the ultimate punishment being a fate as grim as drowning. Separation? Permitted, but solely upon the demonstration of valid reasoning. Our paths diverged, and that simply wouldn't suffice. The weddings unfolded as simple gatherings, devoid of any Instagram-worthy decorations or flowing white veils. The couple would embark on a journey together, engaging in sacred rituals, perhaps calling upon the divine presence of Inanna or Enlil. Yet, the true essence of the marriage unfolded when the community embraced the union, and the contract was recorded, reminiscent of an age-old tax return. In the eyes of the Sumerians, marriage was not merely a personal voyage, but rather a responsibility to society. Your union served as a vital piece in the intricate tapestry of legacy, cultivation, and celestial design. Your partner? A companion in crafting social narratives. A companion in a realm where navigating torrents and nurturing goats overshadowed the allure of verse by candlelight. In the time of ancient Egypt, the bonds of marriage were not merely approved by the norms of society. It was reflected in the skies above. Even the deities were united in matrimony. Once upon a time, there were two divine beings, Isis and Osiris, Nut and Geb, the celestial duo, dance in the tapestry of the cosmos. Even chaos found its perfect match. In the ancient world of Egypt, it was thought that celestial duos upheld the harmony of the universe. And in a similar vein, human unions were seen as a reflection of this sacred balance. What a daunting challenge for a pair striving to protect the cherished grain from the mischievous paws of their feline companions. Marriage was regarded as the pinnacle of social existence. In a time when tradition held sway, it was believed that a young man should embark on the journey of marriage early, before the wild ways of bachelorhood could leave their mark. In a time when young women entered the bonds of matrimony in their early teens, the essence of love may not have been the central theme, yet the treasures of companionship and affection held great significance. In the realm of ancient verses, the expressions of love found in Egyptian poetry reveal a remarkable tenderness. One poem whispers, "My heart flutters hastily when thoughts of you dance through my mind." Another proclaims, "She has captured my heart with her flowing locks." Not quite the tales of Tinder bios, but it's a start. In the realm of the upper class, legal documents frequently played a significant role, weaving through their lives like an intricate tapestry. Much like the ancient Sumerians, the Egyptians crafted agreements that laid out precise terms regarding property, dowries, and the conditions of divorce. In contrast to Sumer, the women of Egypt enjoyed significant legal rights. They had the power to claim property, seek divorce, and take legal action against their husbands for neglect. Regardless of her status, an Egyptian woman had the power to bring her husband before the court if he neglected to supply the essentials: bread, beer, or, most importantly, oil. The practice of marrying within one's own family was a fascinating aspect, particularly among the royal lineage. In ancient times, it was not uncommon for pharaohs to wed their own sisters. And no, it wasn't due to a narrow selection of romantic prospects. What lies behind it? To mirror the divine. In a tale as old as time, the union of Isis and her brother Osiris symbolizes a sacred bond, where the intertwining of their destinies was thought to safeguard the purity of divine lineage. The essence of our lineage woven into the very fabric of our being, accompanied by a hint of hereditary vulnerability. The wedding ceremonies, in their essence, were not grandiose affairs in the quiet of the moment. Devoid of ceremonial grandeur or the watchful eyes of the crowd, a simple truth lingered in the air. Once they took the step of sharing a home, intertwining their lives, the couple was seen as united in marriage. And there you have it. There were neither doves nor cake, and absolutely no tossing of bouquets to be found. The deities required no grand spectacle for their endorsement. Children were the heart of the union. Neither affection nor companionship, nor the quest for self-satisfaction. Only heirs. The greater the abundance, the more delightful it becomes. In the event that your wife is unable to bear children, one might consider the option of taking a concubine or entering into a second marriage. Love. It is up to you to decide. Heritage? Vital in the tapestry of ancient cultures, the union of marriage was woven as a collective family endeavor. In Sparta, it was a grand endeavor of warriors. In the realm of ancient unions, where Sumerian bonds resembled shrewd transactions and Egyptian ties echoed celestial patterns, Spartan marriage emerged as a cunning strategy for endurance, cloaked in the allure of state ideals and chiseled physics. Let me share with you how it unfolded. At the tender age of 7, Spartan boys were separated from their families and thrust into the agog, a harsh training regimen crafted to forge elite warriors, capable of wielding a spoon as a weapon and consuming raw roots with unwavering resolve. Meanwhile, the girls honed their skills in wrestling, javelin throwing, and the art of delivering sharp, witty comebacks. The concept transcended mere power. It was about purpose and meaning behind that strength. It was a tale woven around the creation of vibrant and thriving descendants. A frail child was seen as a burden. A resilient child was destined to become a Spartan of the future. Marriage transcended the glow of candlelight and the notion of finding a soulmate. It was a breeding program enforced by the state. The state even established a designated age for marriage, suggesting around 30 for men and the early teens for women. The essence of romance, is it not? The wedding ceremony unfolded in a manner as peculiar as one might anticipate from individuals who believed that iron bars served as suitable currency. Let me take you on a journey through the events that unfolded. With her head freshly shorn, the bride donned a man's cloak and sandals, a striking image that spoke of tradition and transformation. In that moment, she found herself enveloped by the shadows of a dimly lit room, solitude wrapping around her like a heavy cloak. Under the cover of darkness, the groom would quietly slip in, fulfill the sacred bond of marriage, and then vanish before dawn, retreating to the camaraderie of his all-male barracks. Indeed, even post-marriage, Spartan men maintained a separate existence from their wives. The bond thrived in the shadows, marked by fleeting encounters, reminiscent of a timeless romance with its own set of rules. What's with all the mystery and intrigue? The intention was to nurture the flame of longing. Excessive familiarity could lead to weakness, and weakness was unwelcome in Sparta. The enigma fueled the flame, or so the reasoning suggested, though contemporary counselors might raise some eyebrows. In the midst of peculiar customs, Spartan women wielded a level of influence that surpassed that of many of their ancient peers. They had the power to possess land, manage estates, and publicly challenge men without facing dire consequences. Though love poems may not have captured the hearts of many, the charm of wit certainly did. In the realm of ancient Sparta, the women wielded their words with a fierce precision, their sharp tongues echoing through the ages. she urged her husband. Return with your shield, or be carried back upon it. That's essentially the age-old Greek way of saying, please, don't make me look foolish. In the heart of ancient India, marriage transcended the mere joining of two individuals. It was a revered obligation, a profound expedition guided by the principles of Dharma, the universal order. Deeply embedded in the Vedic tradition, marriage emerged as a pivotal rite of passage, a samskara, essential for honoring one's duties to family, ancestors, and the broader community. Marriage was a journey not embarked upon without careful consideration, that it transcended a simple agreement between two people. It wove together the destinies of two families, two bloodlines, and occasionally, two whole communities. It was designed to preserve the intricate tapestry of social and moral order, weaving together stability through the threads of caste alignment, ritual propriety, and the bonds of mutual obligation. In a time when arranged marriages reigned supreme, the stars and their alignments held the key to uniting souls in perfect harmony. Wise observers gazed upon the celestial dance of stars and planets, unraveling the mysteries of compatibility through their intricate alignments. In the grand tapestry of existence, the vision was that the celestial symphony would resonate down to our world, ushering in a tranquil serenity among all beings. It was said that a harmonious union would usher in abundance, extending its blessings not only to the couple, but to the whole household as well. The wedding ceremony unfolded as a rich tapestry of symbolism, intricately woven around Ugni, the revered sacred fire. As the couple took their 7 steps, the sacred saptapadi, they circled the fire, each vow a promise woven into the fabric of their journey. With every step, they pledged to nurture each other, to cultivate strength, to share their fortunes, to uphold righteousness, to nurture resilient children, to embrace the changing seasons of life side by side, and to remain steadfast companions through all the years to come. Through these steps, the two found themselves woven together in a bond of spiritual unity. The wife, revered as Sridharma Patni, was destined to embody the role of a steadfast partner and a beacon of moral wisdom. She skillfully navigated the household, fulfilled sacred obligations, and played a vital role in safeguarding the family's ritual purity. Though her duties were rooted in the home, they were regarded as essential to the spirit. The husband was called to be a guardian, a provider, and a beacon of righteousness through his actions. In a world where the elite often embraced polygamy, the notion of monogamy stood as the cherished ideal. In times past, widows found themselves navigating a path of solemnity, though the customs surrounding their lives shifted with the sands of time and the tapestry of different lands dot in the tapestry of history. The practice of sati, where a widow would choose to self-immolate on her husband's pyre, weaves a complex narrative. This custom, though often shrouded in controversy, was not a common thread in ancient times. Rather, it surfaced much later, largely diverging from the ideals set forth in the Vedic texts. In the times of ancient China, the union of marriage unfolded as a grand spectacle, not merely a personal matter. In a realm where the echoes of ancient wisdom resonated, there existed a meticulously organized institution, firmly anchored in the teachings of Confucius, the veneration of ancestors, and the intricate tapestry of familial hierarchy. To unite in marriage was not merely to experience love's embrace or to nurture a family. It was a tribute to the past, a promise for the future, all beneath the vigilant gaze of those who walk among us and those who have departed. Marriage served as a vital thread in the tapestry of family lineage, ensuring the passage of heritage through generations. In the tapestry of tradition, the virtue of filial piety wove a compelling narrative, urging a son to take a bride and bear male heirs, ensuring the continuity of ancestral legacies. Should a man falter in this task, he would not only let down his parents, but also jeopardize the sacred responsibilities of the family. Our forebears required sustenance and reverence. A home without children felt like a severed link in the family. Tree, a source of sorrow and a disruption in the grand tapestry of existence. The young couple never had a hand in the decisions of their marriage. Families sought the expertise of matchmakers who skillfully negotiated terms, examined backgrounds, and delved into the mysteries of astrological charts. A union lacking the right cosmic harmony was deemed perilous. Compatibility transcended mere chemistry. It was a dance of celestial timing and the weight of earthly responsibilities. The 6 rites of traditional Chinese marriage unveiled a rich tapestry of ceremonial intricacies. Once upon a time, it all started with a heartfelt proposal, followed by the exchange of names, a touch of divination, the giving of betrothal gifts, the careful setting of a date, and ultimately, the grand ceremony that brought it all to life. Every step was steeped in tradition, rich with meaning and careful exchanges between families, a journey that could unfold over months or even years. On the day of celebration, the bride donned a vibrant red, a hue that embodies joy and fortune. As she journeyed in a beautifully adorned sedan chair to the groom's abode, she was veiled, silent and ceremonially passive. As they stepped into the sacred space, the couple performed a heartfelt ritual, bowing thrice to the heavens and the earth, honoring their parents, and finally sealing their bond with a deep bow to one another. These bows represented a hierarchy of devotion, with the cosmos taking precedence, followed by family, and finally, the self. Upon marriage, the wife stepped into her husband's home, where she was to honor and obey his parents as if they were her own. Her role was to bring forth heirs, oversee the household, and fulfill her responsibilities with grace. Though certain women earned admiration through the passage of time or the journey of motherhood, their roles continued to exist within a distinctly outlined patriarchal structure. Separation was an uncommon and stigmatized occurrence. A man had the power to cast aside his wife for her disobedience or inability to bear children, yet a woman held no such authority. The sacred union, while cherished, held an uneven distribution of influence. In the mystical lands of ancient Japan, the tapestry of marriage was woven not by rigid laws or religious edicts, but by the rich threads of evolving customs, regional traditions, and a deep-seated reverence for the natural world and the spirits of ancestors. In the heart of Japan's rich tapestry of beliefs, where Shinto traditions weave their magic, marriage transcended mere formalities. It blossomed as a celebration of purity, harmony, and the bonds that unite communities. In the rich tapestry of Shintoism, it is believed that divine spirits, known as kami, dwell within all aspects of the world rivers, trees, mountains, and even within the hearts of people. A harmonious marriage, then, was viewed as a way to attune oneself to the rhythms of the natural world. In every significant journey of life, the essence of purity and the sacredness of ritual cleanliness played a vital role, and the union of marriage was no different. In times long past, unions were crafted by families, rather than by the hearts of those involved. The objectives were grounded in reality, forging alliances, consolidating land, and ensuring the continuation of family lines, particularly among the elite. In the tapestry of ancient cultures, Japan wove a narrative where women held a status that was notably elevated compared to their neighbors. Women had the power to inherit property, oversee estates, and exert influence within the home. In the traditional journey of matrimony, one would encounter a fascinating ritual known as muko yuri, where the groom steps into the embrace of the bride's household. In this unique tradition, the groom took residence in the bride's family home, a delightful twist on the more prevalent customs found across Asia. This highlighted the significance of matrilineal continuity in certain areas, particularly within influential families. As time unfolded, this evolved into yom yuri, a tradition where the bride stepped into the groom's household, As the tides of tradition turned, the sacred Shinto wedding rituals began to emphasize purification and deep respect, reflecting the rising influence of patriarchal values. The couple would engage in a Sansen Kudo ceremony, sipping sake in three. Delicate gulps from three beautifully crafted cups dot with every sip. A connection was forged, intertwining the lives of those present, their families, and the very essence of their souls. In this tale, vows were absent in the traditional manner, yet the essence of unity and mutual respect resonated deeply through the symbolism that surrounded them. In contrast to the strict legal frameworks found in other cultures, the early Japanese approach to marriage was characterized by its adaptability and fluidity. Among the elites, polygamy found its place, yet it remained unbound by formal institutions. Though often met with disapproval, the path of divorce could be traversed, particularly in the face of infertility or a lack of harmony. Yet, the essence of communal peace and the dignity of the family were held in the highest regard. The process of parting ways required a careful touch. In the days of ancient Rome, marriage transcended mere personal significance. It stood as a vital civic institution, intricately woven with the threads of law, class, and public obligation. In ancient Rome, marriage was more than a union of hearts. It was a tapestry woven with threads of social order. Alliances blossomed, property changed hands, and lineage was safeguarded, all under the vigilant eyes of the state and the paterfamilias, the esteemed male head of the household. In ancient Rome, the institution of marriage took on various legal forms, each with its own distinct characteristics. In the most traditional arrangement, known as cum manu, the wife would depart from her own family, stepping into the realm of her husband or his father's legal authority or manus. She had stepped away from her birth family, transforming into a cherished daughter within the embrace of her husband's home. Her domain transformed into his realm. This form, however, slowly gave way to sine manu, where the wife stayed under her father's authority while enjoying greater legal independence. This transformation mirrored changing perspectives and the growing financial influence of prominent Roman women. Marriage ceremonies unfolded with rich rituals and deep symbolism. In a striking display, the bride adorned herself with a flame-colored veil known as the flamium, while her hair was elegantly divided into 6 locks, secured with a spear in homage to the rich traditions and warrior heritage of Roman culture. The joining of hands, dextrarum unctio, symbolized the union, and offerings were made to household gods, especially Juno, the goddess of marriage. A grand procession escorted the bride to her new abode, where she was greeted with the sacred elements of fire and water, symbols of purity and vitality. For the Roman elite, the institution of marriage served as a strategic instrument of power. In a world where power and prestige danced hand in hand, senators and nobles wove intricate tapestries of alliances through the sacred bonds of marriage, each union a strategic move in the grand game of influence. Though personal affection held its place, it frequently took a back seat. Even the mightiest rulers orchestrated unions for the sake of power, often casting aside their own desires in the process. In the realm of Roman unions, women were envisioned as paragons of modesty, unwavering loyalty, and devoted stewards of the home. In the intriguing tapestry of Roman society, women, particularly those in sine manu marriages, wielded the power to own property, inherit wealth, and even take the bold step of initiating divorce. In a world where the end of a union was not shunned, but rather seen as a natural chapter in life, the act of parting ways was embraced, as long as it was approached with grace and respect. In the realm where you dwell, Gaius, I am Gaia, the bride would once declare, yet, should the tides turn, separating paths could be as quick as voicing intentions in front of those who bear witness. In the times of the ancient Hebrews, marriage transcended mere social agreement. It was a revered covenant, steeped in the wisdom of divine law. Deeply embedded in the rich tapestry of the Hebrew Bible, marriage stood as a fundamental pillar of faith, heritage, and ethical structure. It was a relationship that mirrored the profound human connection, as well as the timeless bond that exists between the people of Israel and their divine Creator. In the grand tapestry of life, marriage emerged as a vital thread, woven into the very fabric of the commandment to be fruitful and multiply. It was a common expectation for all men, and marrying young was simply the way of life. Though cherished, love was not the bedrock upon which everything stood. Devotion to the divine and loyalty to kin held the highest importance. A well-structured union safeguarded the essence of the tribe, ensured the rightful passage of heritage, and upheld the sanctity of the community, in a time when unions were crafted through careful negotiation. Families would come together, weaving bonds of kinship, reputation, and property into the very fabric of arranged marriages. In a beautiful tradition, the groom presented a mohar, a bride price, to the bride's family. This act was not merely a transaction, but rather a profound expression of commitment and a gesture of respect and acknowledgement. In times gone by, it was common for young women to enter into marriage in their early teens, while men, a bit older, had typically secured the resources necessary to provide for a family. In the heart of the home, ceremonies unfolded, often graced by the presence of the bride's family, culminating in a joyous feast that echoed with laughter and love. The ceremonies celebrated happiness, the flow of time, and the bestowal of blessings, accompanied by wine, melodies, and the recitation of revered writings. A beautifully crafted ketubah, the marriage contract, detailed the husband's duties to ensure the provision of sustenance, garments, and intimate companionship. It served to safeguard the wife's financial well-being in the event of divorce or the loss of her spouse. In the tapestry of Hebrew society, where the threads of patriarchy wove a dominant pattern, women emerged as revered figures, their roles cherished within the sacred confines of family life. The woman of strength depicted in Proverbs was wise, hard-working, and held in high regard. In the days of old, when figures like Abraham and Jacob walked the earth, polygamy was a practice woven into the fabric of society. Yet, as time flowed onward, the tides began to shift. Following the Babylonian exile, the notion of monogamy took root and flourished, becoming the more prevalent choice among the people. Though allowed, divorce was viewed with disfavor. A man may have the power to issue a get, a writ of divorce, when specific conditions are met. Yet, this journey demanded the blessing of faith and was bound by the constraints of law, safeguarding the woman from vulnerability and dishonor. In the time of the ancient Celts, marriage emerged as a profound communal celebration, intricately linked to the cycles of nature, the bonds of tribe, and the wisdom of ancestral traditions. It was not merely a fixed establishment, but rather a dynamic, evolving connection molded by individual decisions, communal responsibilities, and the rhythms of the seasons. In contrast to the strict legal frameworks of Rome or the celestial duties of India, the marriage traditions of the Celts danced with diversity, shifting from one tribe to another, and spanning the lush landscapes of Ireland, the vibrant lands of Gaul, and the rugged beauty of the Scottish Highlands. Yet certain enduring themes wove through the fabric of the tale: partnership, fertility, and honor. In the eyes of the Celts, marriage was a hallowed promise, a vow taken amidst the watchful gaze of tribal elders, druids, and the omnipresent deities of earth and heaven's. In the realm of unions, one might find the paths of monogamy or polygyny, each shaped by the contours of wealth and status. In the grand halls of nobles and chieftains, it was a familiar sight for a man to embrace the bonds of multiple wives, each presiding over her own domain. Yet this was shaped by well-defined expectations and a shared understanding that women were vibrant and dynamic forces. In the rich tapestry of Celtic society, women held a remarkable position, enjoying legal rights that allowed them to own property, seek divorce, and even take the initiative in matters of marriage. In the rich tapestry of Celtic union, one captivating aspect was the trial marriage, a unique arrangement lasting a year and a day. During this time, couples would share their lives, exploring the depths of their connection before making the momentous decision to commit for the long haul. Should either partner find themselves unhappy, they had the freedom to depart without any sense of shame. This unique creation, well ahead of its era, highlighted the importance of mutual agreement and harmony rather than clinging to permanence for its own sake. In the tapestry of time, ceremonies wove themselves into the fabric of seasonal festivals, such as Beltane, a vibrant fire rite that heralded the dawn of summer and the blossoming of fertility. In a dance of devotion, couples would leap over flames or pass between bonfires, embodying the essence of purification and the sacred bond of union. In the tapestry of tradition, these rites were thought to weave blessings into the marriage, bestowing strength, fruitfulness, and a deep harmony with the natural world. In the realm of elite unions, marriage contracts took on a formal nature, often weaving intricate clauses that spoke of dowries, shared property, and the passage of inheritance. In a departure from the norms of many ancient cultures, the laws of the Celts embraced the idea of shared duties between partners. In the face of abuse or neglect, there existed a path to dissolution, and women found solace and justice within the tribal courts. The essence of the spiritual realm in Celtic marriage was always woven into its fabric. Promises were woven into the very fabric of the land, the community, and the divine. The couple's bond wove a delicate thread into the grand tapestry of land and lineage, their loyalty a vow not just to one another, but to the sacred equilibrium that binds the world in harmony. In a tale woven through time, the beginnings of Malbork Castle emerged not from the shadowy woods of Poland, but from the blazing sun of the Holy Land. In the tumultuous backdrop of the late 12th century, a new chapter unfolded with the emergence of the Teutonic Order, rising from the fervor of the Third Crusade. In the year 1190, a band of German crusaders came together, united by a noble purpose: to tend to the wounded Christian soldiers in Acre. As time flowed on, this group evolved, becoming a formidable military monastic order, embodying the spirit of both healer and warrior, wholly dedicated to the noble cause of expanding Christendom. Yet the Holy Land was gradually fading from grasp. In a time when the Muslim forces led by Saladin were steadily reclaiming their lands, and the European powers began to wane in their enthusiasm, the Teutonic Knights faced a moment of uncertainty. Adrift without a defined mission, their fervor endured, yet the arena of conflict would transform. In the year 1226, the Polish Duke Conrad of Mazovia recognized a moment ripe with potential. Besieged by the relentless incursions of pagan Prussian tribes from the north, he extended a heartfelt invitation to the knights, promising them land in return for their safeguard and the spiritual transformation of the Baltic peoples. The Teutonic Knights consented, yet their aspirations reached far beyond mere missionary endeavors. With the blessing of the Pope and the endorsement of the Empire, they set forth to shape their own theocratic realm. In this ravaged land, the blade would carry the emblem of faith. With each brick placed, they crafted the bedrock of a formidable fortress to secure their dominion. In the heart of history lies Marienburg, a grand fortress that would come to be known as Malbork, or Mary's Castle, a tribute to the Virgin Mary, the revered patroness of the order. Construction commenced in 1274, and from its inception, it was destined to mine ore. This was not just a stronghold, it was a proclamation. Constructed in the striking red Gothic brick style characteristic of Northern Europe, it emerged from the banks of the Nogget River as if a crusader's dream had been sculpted in stone. There, Walls stood as a formidable barrier, not merely to ward off pagans and rebels, but to herald the spiritual and military prowess of the knights to all corners of the land. Malberg transcended the mere definition of a castle. It served as a hub of activity, a sanctuary for monks, a center of governance, and the very soul of an emerging religious empire. The warrior monks had transcended their role as mere visitors. They had claimed the mantle of rulers. In its early days, this castle was destined to grow into the largest fortress in the world by land area, a stronghold of medieval might that would stand the test of time. As the 13th century drew to a close, Malberg Castle transformed from a mere strategic stronghold into a grand testament to power, devotion, and the heights of architectural aspiration. From the expansive plains of the Vistula Delta, it emerged boldly and unmistakably, a stronghold crafted not from stone, but from resilient brick, the daring essence of the North. In a time when the majority of fortresses embraced the sturdy embrace of limestone and granite, the crimson Gothic walls of Malberg stood as a bold testament to both creativity and awe. The Teutonic Knights sought not just a stronghold, but a hallowed fortress where the clash of arms and the reverence of faith could harmoniously coexist. The design captured this contrast beautifully. In a time long past, there stood a grand complex, divided into three remarkable sections: the High Castle, the Middle Castle, and the Lower Castle. Each was encircled by sturdy walls, fortified against the elements and intruders alike, and each served its own unique purpose in the tapestry of this storied place. In the towering castle, the very heart of its spirit, lay the sacred chapel, the esteemed chapter house, and the humble quarters of the monks. In this sacred space, the knights gathered to dwell, seek divine guidance, and strategize their noble quests. The design of the architecture was infused with deep religious symbolism, weaving a narrative that speaks to the sacred and the divine. Through narrow windows, filtered light dances, weaving long shadows across the cold stone floors. Vaulted ceilings soared, reminiscent of grand cathedral arches. The protective elements served as profound symbols of the spirit. To be tall was to be closer to the divine. In the interplay of shadows and illumination, the essence of divine truth stood resolute, a beacon amidst the tumult beyond the fortress's embrace. Malberg was not merely built to withstand siege. It was crafted to evoke wonder. Within the lofty embrace of the castle, the Holy Virgin Church stood as a testament to artistry, adorned with stained glass that danced with light, intricate tile, work that whispered tales of old, and a statue of the Virgin Mary, majestically overlooking the outer walls, a guardian of the sacred space. Each turret, passageway, and tower was crafted with purpose and design. Every detail was intentional, every moment carefully crafted. Even the latrines flowed with ingenuity into the Nugget River, a testament to how the knights imposed order and cleanliness upon a realm they perceived as untamed and unrefined. As the 14th century unfolded, Malberg embarked on a journey of expansion. Artisans, workers, and stone carvers toiled throughout the seasons. In the days of yore, the humble villagers found themselves called upon to provide sustenance, timber, and labor, their efforts woven into the very fabric of the community's survival. In the midst of it all, the fortress emerged as the heart and soul of the Teutonic Order's expanding realm, serving both as a center of governance and a beacon of faith. Beyond its stone walls, Malberg stood as a testament, a tangible narrative, proclaiming the enduring presence of the Order, both as fierce warriors and devoted monks. It was a belief adorned in strength, a sanctuary encircled by fortifications, and its journey had only just commenced. As the 14th century unfolded, Malberg Castle transformed beyond its original role as a mere military stronghold. It had transformed into the heart of a burgeoning theocratic empire. From this imposing brick fortress, the Teutonic Knights spread their influence throughout the Baltic, turning what began as a mission of conversion into a sweeping colonization of lands, peoples, and resources. The order functioned as a unique blend of a realm and a business enterprise. From the grand halls of Malberg, the Grand Master, a figure of both spiritual and temporal authority, presided over the realm, supported by a disciplined order of monks who upheld his rule. Below him stood knights, priests, and lay brothers, each tethered by their solemn vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Yet they wielded control over sprawling estates, bustling trade routes, and intricate tax systems. Their aim extended beyond mere faith. It was also about unifying and claiming the land. In the shadows of progress, trees fell and settlements rose, while ancient beliefs were pushed into the depths or obliterated. Malberg stood as the beating heart and guiding star of this endeavor. In this sacred space, the chapter house gathered to weave the threads of policy, choose new grand masters, and navigate the intricate dance of war and diplomacy. Within the stronghold's walls lay a treasury, a trove of gold, silver, and ancient relics, each piece a testament to the wealth amassed through tithes, trade, and the spoils of conquest. Their armories forged swords and crafted armor, readying warriors for new crusades into Lithuania, and far beyond. As its power expanded, the order presented itself as a beacon of civilization. As the sun rose over the horizon, the sound of hammers and saws filled the air, marking the birth of roads and bridges. Trade blossomed like wildflowers along the banks of the Vistula River, weaving tales of prosperity and connection. In a time of great promise, German settlers embarked on a journey, laying the foundations of towns adorned with majestic Gothic cathedrals and bustling markets. Reminiscent of the grandeur of the Holy Roman Empire. In this land, tales of yore faded into whispers, overshadowed by the unyielding structure imposed by the formidable Black Cross. Yet, with great power emerged adversaries. In a time when Poland and Lithuania stood as bastions of pagan belief and fierce independence, they boldly resisted the encroaching expansion of the order. In a tale of contrasting fates, some embraced the change with open hearts, while others fiercely resisted the imposition of baptism and the grip of foreign dominion. In the borderlands, a fierce struggle unfolded, where raids erupted with alarming regularity and tensions hung thick in the air. Yet, within the sturdy embrace of Malbork's formidable walls, the Teutonic Knights appeared to be an unstoppable force. In its prime, the Teutonic Order wielded dominion over expansive territories, reaching from the shores of the Baltic Sea to the heart of Eastern Europe. At the core of this grand narrative lay Malberg, transformed from a mere fortress into the capital of a religious realm, a testament to devotion, might, and the relentless pursuit of empire. Yet the path of ambition is seldom free from obstacles. As the 15th century began to unfold, the relentless ascent of the Teutonic Order stirred a growing tide of discontent and resentment among the people. From its sturdy brick towers and imposing iron gates, Malberg Castle stood as a sentinel over a realm shaped by triumph and upheld by devotion. Yet the knights found themselves facing formidable foes, particularly the newly forged alliance of the kingdoms of Poland and Lithuania. In the year of our Lord 1386, a momentous change unfolded. In a remarkable turn of events, the Grand Duke of Lithuania, Jagiela, embraced Christianity and united with the Polish Queen, ascending to the throne as King Władysław II of Poland. In this pivotal moment, Lithuania, the final bastion of paganism in Europe, welcomed Christianity, thereby stripping the order of its fundamental reason for waging its crusade. The very foundation of belief that supported the Teutonic Knights started to crumble away. Yet the tale unfolded not merely through the lens of faith. It wove a complex tapestry of territory, power, and the thirst for retribution. For ages, Lithuania stood firm against the relentless onslaught of the Order's invasions. In the annals of history, Poland found itself embroiled in territorial disputes. United through the bonds of marriage, faith, and politics, the two kingdoms stood resolute, ready to face the Knights head-on. The simmering tensions erupted into daring border raids. The skirmishes grew into a full-blown conflict. The clash was destined to unfold. In the year of our Lord 1410, it arrived. In the annals of history, the Battle of Grunwald, often referred to as the Battle of Tannenberg, unfolds as a dramatic clash between the united forces of the Polish-Lithuanian army and the formidable Teutonic Knights, marking one of the most significant and blood-soaked confrontations of medieval Europe. The valiant knights, clad in their shining armor and brimming with confidence, found themselves outwitted in a twist of fate. Their forces met a devastating defeat. On the battlefield, the valiant Grand Master, Ulrich von Jungningen, met his fate. The defeat reverberated through the lands of the Order, leaving a trail of disbelief in its wake. Yet the alliance between Poland and Lithuania was not merely defined by triumph. With unwavering determination, they advanced straight toward Malbuk, intent on striking the decisive blow. As the shadow of the enemy army loomed closer, Malbuk steeled himself for the impending clash. The walls rose high, a testament to strength. The supplies were abundant, a treasure trove of resources, and the defenders stood resolute, unwavering in their commitment. In a moment that would be etched in the annals of history, the new Grand Master, Heinrich von Plauen, a masterful strategist, assumed command. Siege engines were crafted, and the fortifications stood tall and resolute. With precision and purpose, the archers positioned themselves, ready to weave their tales of valor. For 2 long months, the Allied armies endeavored to penetrate the formidable defenses of Malbuk. Yet the castle stood firm. From the heights of the battlements, arrows fell. Like a relentless storm, scalding oil cascaded from the treacherous openings above. A grim spectacle of chaos and destruction, illness and scarcity of resources haunted the assailants. At long last, the attackers retreated. Though battered, the Order endured, for the time being. Yet Grunwald signified the pivotal moment. The sense of invincibility had vanished. Though the walls of Malbuk stood strong against the siege, the empire they protected began to show signs of fracture. Though Malbuk Castle withstood the fierce siege of 1410, the Teutonic Order emerged forever altered. Their crushing defeat at the Battle of Grunwald had dismantled the facade of supremacy. The once mighty wave of their theocratic empire started to ebb away. Their realms stretched endlessly. Their fortress stood unyielding, a bastion of strength. Against all odds. Yet the hold they had on power was beginning to wane. Gently, with a sense of purpose. Suddenly, everything changed. Amidst the shadows of turmoil, the Order found itself ensnared by the heavy chains of debt, the burdens of war, reparations, and the whispers of internal discord. In a bid to bolster their defenses and restore their military might, they levied substantial taxes upon their subjects, with particular emphasis on the burgeoning class of German-speaking merchants and townsfolk. Yet even the strongest bonds have their boundaries. In the heart of Prussia, a quiet unrest brewed, stoked by the struggles of daily life and the growing tyranny of the knights. In the year of our Lord 1454, a tempestuous situation arose. In a dramatic turn of events, a formidable alliance of Prussian nobles and cities, weary of the oppressive grip of the Order, sought the favor of King Casimir IV of Poland, yearning to unite their territories under the Polish crown. With a nod, the king set in motion the 13 Years' War, a fierce and relentless struggle that would ultimately determine the destiny of Malbuk and the Teutonic state. At first, the Order held fast. Malbuk remained their jewel, their stronghold, but the tide had turned against them. In a bold move, the Polish army, with the support of the defiant Prussian League, advanced deep into the heart of Teutonic lands. In a moment of desperation, the knights found themselves unable to pay their mercenaries, leading to a fateful error that would seal their doom. In the year 1457, as the shadow of bankruptcy loomed over them, the Teutonic orders hired hands. At Malbuk, predominantly Bohemian mercenaries made a fateful decision. They relinquished the castle not through the clash of swords or the might of siege towers, but rather through the glint of silver, handing it over to the Polish king. Poland entered Malbuk's gates not with the swagger of conquerors, but with the intent of buyers. The most magnificent stronghold in all of Christendom had shifted ownership without a single clash of arms. In a dramatic turn of events, the Teutonic Knights found themselves retreating to the storied city of Königsberg. Their realm, while not completely obliterated, lay in shards and shame. Malbuk, once the beating heart of a fierce militant order, had transformed into a regal abode for the Polish monarchy. From this moment forward, it shall be the realm of kings, not of crusaders. The downfall of Malbuk signified the shattering of the order's grand aspirations for empire. Their stronghold had withstood the relentless onslaught of catapults, the trials of sieges, and the fierce clashes of swordplay. Yet ultimately, it was the forces of economics and the sting of betrayal that decided the fate. The age of the warrior, monks, was over, and the brick walls that once echoed with prayers and battle plans now whispered of decline. As the Teutonic Knights fell in 1457, Malbuk Castle began a fresh chapter, shedding its past as a stronghold for crusader monks and emerging as a treasured gem within the Polish monarchy. King Casimir IV Jagiellon, having secured the fortress through payment rather than through the clash of arms, saw Malbuk not merely as a strategic stronghold, but as a powerful emblem of Polish rise amidst the waning of Teutonic power. Malbuk emerged as a cherished royal abode for the Polish kings, esteemed for its impressive size, strategic positioning, and magnificent allure. Though originally crafted for protection and the solemnity of monastic life, its design surprisingly embraced the elegance of courtly existence. The once stark halls of the knights were adorned with vibrant tapestries and fluttering banners, transforming the atmosphere into one of warmth and color. Grand receptions and diplomatic gatherings took the place of chapter meetings and war councils. Once upon a time, a grand castle found its place within the royal Prussian lands, a realm that, while semi-autonomous, remained steadfastly loyal to the Polish crown. Malbuk found itself nestled in the midst of a rich tapestry where diverse cultures intertwined and the pulse of economic vitality thrived. The castle's administrative functions adapted to the changing tides, their armories transformed into treasuries, while watchtowers now kept a vigilant eye on trade routes instead of war paths. During the era of Polish governance, Malbuk experienced a series of carefully chosen renovations. New wings took flight, and the armor was refined, adapting to the ever-evolving landscape of battle, especially in response to the looming menace of gunpowder. The old Gothic structures embraced the new, as cannon platforms and bastions were woven into their fabric, creating a harmonious dance between medieval artistry and Renaissance practicality. Despite its grandeur, Malbuk served as a royal abode only during certain seasons, embodying a ceremonial essence. In the heart of Poland, the kings held court in the majestic cities of Krakow and Warsaw, making occasional journeys to Malbuk to manage the affairs of Prussia and entertain esteemed guests from afar. The castle stood as a beacon of togetherness and victory, a testament to Poland's conquest over the order and its growing presence in the Baltic realm. Though its military importance had waned, Malbuk stood resolute as a vital bastion in the defense of northern Poland. It stood strong, upheld with care and reverence, yet the aura of fear had faded away. The fortress had exchanged its austere devotion for the elegance of courtly rituals, its martial intent for the allure of political grandeur. Still, beneath the banners and fine garments, the thick walls and deep moats remained, silent, enduring and waiting. Though the kings had arrived, the castle's tranquil days were destined to fade away. In the early 17th century, Malbuk Castle once more stood at the heart of tumultuous conflict. This time, not merely a symbol of ascendant might, but rather a sought-after treasure in the intricate game of strategy that unfolds across northern Europe. The Swedish-Polish Wars, woven into the larger tapestry of conflict for supremacy around the Baltic Sea, would challenge the fortress once more. In the days of yore, Sweden, guided by the visionary kings Gustavus Adolphus and later Charles, and Gustav, embarked on a quest for dominion over the Baltic coastline, a realm known as the Dominium Maris Baltici. In the heart of Europe, a vast and intricate realm known as Poland, with its rich tapestry of a decentralized commonwealth, emerged as a formidable barrier. The wars between the two powers were long and bitter, driven by religious divides, dynastic rivalry, and the race for regional supremacy. In the year of our Lord 1626, the Swedes set forth on an incursion into the lands of Royal Prussia. Their disciplined, modernized army quickly advanced, capturing key cities and ports. Malbuk, with its formidable walls and prime position by the Nagat River, emerged as a key target. Once a formidable stronghold, the castle now stood as a shadow of its former self, no longer the impregnable fortress it had been during the era of the Teutonic Knights. The thunderous roar of cannon fire, now imbued with unparalleled power and precision, could lay waste to the most formidable Gothic fortifications. In the year of our Lord 1656, amidst the tumultuous times that history would remember as the Deluge. In Poland, the fateful moment arrived when Malbuk succumbed at last. Swedish troops made their way into the fortress, not as conquerors this time, but through the act of surrender. In a realm where shadows danced upon the stone walls, the castle stood, its defenses waning and its resources dwindling, unable to endure the relentless siege that loomed on the horizon. Once more, Malbuk transitioned from one grasp to another, devoid of a grand confrontation, yet the consequences were equally profound. In the shadow of Swedish occupation, the castle faced the ravages of looting and sustained damage, its storied walls bearing witness to the tumultuous events that unfolded. Valuable artifacts, treasures, and archives were whisked away to Stockholm.in. A time long past, the esteemed corridors of diplomacy and belief resonated with the heavy footsteps of outsiders. For the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, this loss transcended mere territory. It resonated with profound symbolism. Malbuk had risen. As a beacon of Polish strength for 2 centuries. Now, it was yet another tale of a nation besieged. For many years, the Swedes held the castle, a stronghold of power, until Poland, through a series of trials and tribulations, managed to reclaim it in a costly endeavor. Yet the harm was already set in motion. Malbuk stood as a fortress, its once proud role as a royal seat, now a distant memory, with scars etched in the form of shattered walls and desolate chapels. War had come again, and Malbuk had braved the tempest, yet not without its scars. As the 18th century unfolded, Malbuk Castle, which had once stood as the vibrant core of a military monastic state, and later as a proud emblem of Polish royalty, slipped into a gentle silence, its glory dimmed by the passage of time. The tapestry of the political realm was coming undone. Once a grand entity, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, beset by turmoil from within and the meddling of outsiders, met its fate in 1795, vanishing completely from the annals of history. Malbuk, much like the surrounding lands, found itself woven into the ever-growing tapestry of the Prussian kingdom. In the shadow of Prussian dominion, the castle's once mighty significance had faded into obscurity. With the advent of gunpowder warfare, the mighty medieval fortresses began to fade into the annals of history, their once imposing walls no longer standing as impenetrable bastions of defense. Malbec had shed its former glory, no longer standing. As a beacon of triumph, once stood a grand, time-worn edifice, burdened by the weight of its upkeep and the challenge of embracing the new. The Prussian authorities discovered fresh, ordinary applications for its expansive halls and resonant chambers. Once a sacred space where Teutonic knights sought solace in prayer, the chapel now stands, transformed into a mere warehouse. The dining halls transformed into makeshift quarters. Even the intricate details of the lavish interiors were stripped away to accommodate storage and military provisions. Entire structures were taken apart, their bricks finding new life in other buildings. Nearby, the castle stood not as a revered relic of the past, but rather as a practical collection of resources waiting to be repurposed. Both the townsfolk and the soldiers gradually let the echoes of its history fade away. Centuries of religious, political, and military legacy were buried beneath dust and indifference. Onlookers marveled at the crumbling towers, the fallen arches, and the walls embraced by ivy. The once mighty fortress stood as a mere shadow of its former self, a grand relic that loomed large, impossible to overlook, yet far too expensive to bring back to life. Yet, even as it waned, Malbec remained a shadow of its former self, never truly fading away. Wanderers from Germany and far-off lands would sometimes arrive to gaze in awe at its vastness, capture its outline in sketches, and ponder the echoes of its once magnificent splendor. Artists and thinkers of the Romantic era, captivated by the allure of medieval ruins and tales of chivalry, began to perceive the castle not as a relic of the past, but as a timeless symbol, a lingering whisper of a more heroic age. Yet the castle stood in a state of disrepair, forsaken by guardians, stripped of authority, and forgotten by the revelers of old. Malbec lingered in quietude. The walls that once echoed with the fervor of battle cries, the grandeur of processions, and the weight of royal decrees now whispered only of dust, shadows, and the faintest traces of memories. A new century would dawn, igniting a fervent passion for national identity and a surge of historical romanticism, rekindling the spirit. Within its time-worn bricks. In the 19th century, the enduring hush of Malbec Castle was at last shattered. As the wave of nationalism surged across Europe, a fresh appreciation for the medieval era began to take root. Ruins transformed into cherished relics, and forgotten fortresses emerged as symbols of cultural pride for the Germans in their quest for a unified identity. Malbec, known to them as Marienburg, rose to prominence as a beacon of Teutonic strength and the romantic ideals of knighthood. The restoration commenced with fervor in the 1800s, guided by Prussian architects and historians who perceived in the crumbling bricks not merely a building, but a narrative waiting to be unveiled. In the shadows of history, intricate studies unfolded, where Gothic motifs were lovingly reinterpreted. Each section was reconstructed with meticulous care, echoing the grandeur of medieval styles, yet infused with a whisper of 19th century artistic flair. The journey may not have adhered strictly to historical facts, with certain aspects embellished. Rather than true to life, yet the essence of renewal was undeniably vibrant. Malbec emerged as a cherished symbol of the German Empire's heritage. Artworks, musical compositions, and scholarly texts portrayed it as a birthplace of Germanic splendor. In the grand halls, German emperors graced the space with their presence, and ceremonies unfolded in a tapestry of history. It transformed from mere stone walls into a tapestry of heritage, myth, and architecture, woven together into a singular, powerful symbol. Yet the currents of history would turn once more. In the aftermath of World War I, the land became a battleground of competing claims. In the aftermath of World War II, a remarkable transformation took place. In the year of 1945, as the mighty Soviet forces pressed forward into the heart of East Prussia, The town of Malberg found itself under the relentless weight of heavy bombardment. Flames devoured the insides, leaving walls to collapse in despair. Once more, the castle found itself engulfed in the chaos of war, and once more, it lay in shambles. In the aftermath of the war, Malberg found itself woven into the fabric of a revitalized Poland, its identity shifting yet again. Once a proud emblem of Germany, it transformed into a cherished fragment of Polish heritage, not for the sake of domination, but for the art of safeguarding. In the aftermath of the war, the Polish government embarked on an ambitious journey of restoration, this time striving for an authentic portrayal of history in a rich tapestry of diverse cultures. Stone by stone, it rose anew, not merely a stronghold of conflict, but a testament to unwavering strength. Today, Malberg Castle rises majestically as the largest brick fortress in the world, a UNESCO World Heritage Site embodying nearly 8 centuries of rich European history. In the heart of its courtyards, tourists meander, while historians delve into its rich tapestry of history. The walls, once marked by the scars of conflict and governance, now resonate with the laughter of schoolchildren and the hushed reverence of those who come to marvel. Malberg stands not as a fortress of defense, but as a keeper of memories. In the early 1800s, the United States emerged as a vibrant young nation, brimming with restless ambitions and dreams yet to be realized. The eastern cities were bustling with growth, yet for countless Americans, the true allure beckoned from beyond the Appalachian Mountains. In the expansive, wild frontier of the West, this yearning to grow was not merely a personal urge. It was enveloped in a grand narrative known as manifest destiny, the conviction that the people of America were fated, by some divine plan or grand design, to stretch their reach from the Atlantic shores to the Pacific horizon, regardless of the obstacles or individuals that might impede their path. What started as a small stream of courageous pioneers quickly grew into a powerful tide of determination. With wagons creaking, horses galloping, and feet pounding the earth, countless families embarked on a journey into the unknown, lured by the promise of affordable land, new beginnings, and the allure of freedom from debt, hardship, or the bustling confines of crowded cities. Land grants, homesteading laws, and glowing newspaper editorials painted a vivid picture of fertile soil, freedom, and ownership, all beckoning to the daring souls ready to seize the opportunity. Yet the trek to the west was a challenge that only the brave would dare to undertake. Brave souls embarked on journeys that stretched for weeks, sometimes even months, through relentless challenges. Paths such as the Oregon Trail, Santa Fe Trail, and California Trail emerged as vital arteries, weaving through majestic mountains, flowing rivers, and expansive plains. Wagons brimmed with supplies, their sturdy frames doubling as vessels of journey and refuge. Perils awaited at every turn. As one journeys through the wild, the perils of river crossings, the lurking threat of animal attacks, the misfortune of broken axles, and the sudden onset of disease can all emerge from the shadows, catching the unwary by surprise. And still, the allure of the West held an undeniable charm. For countless souls, the notion of claiming a slice of the untamed wilderness transcended mere acquisition of land. It was a bold leap into transformation. Once upon a time, a humble tenant farmer had the chance to transform his life and become a proud landowner. A newcomer, unburdened by legacy, could embark on a fresh journey. In the wild expanse of the frontier, there existed no neighbors to dazzle, no elite to maneuver around, just the untamed land and the indomitable spirit to conquer it. Ah, the frontier realm steeped in paradox. It whispered of liberation, yet it exacted a heavy toll, uprooting the indigenous peoples whose ancestral lands were transformed into untamed wilderness. It presented a chance, yet only for the resilient or lucky who could endure the trials ahead. Yet the legend of the frontier, where bold souls ventured into the uncharted, became intricately stitched into the fabric of American identity. For those early adventurers, existence on the frontier was more than mere fantasy. It was a journey, embarked upon, measured in miles, crossed rivers, and turned by a wooden wheel, each step a daring leap into the unknown. Once the journey west reached its conclusion, if it truly reached a conclusion, the true adventure commenced. The American frontier greeted settlers not with cozy homes or cultivated fields, but with untamed wilderness and the promise of adventure. It presented a canvas of trees, soil, weather, and the passage of time. For those brave souls venturing into the unknown, the journey of creating a homestead was about weaving together the untamed wild into a haven of sustenance, beginning with the essential cornerstone of existence, shelter in the heart of the wilderness. A log cabin stood as a testament to practicality over comfort, chosen for its sturdy embrace of the elements. In a world where trees flourished, the tools were scarce. A family may journey to their selected plot armed only with an axe, a wagon filled with provisions, and an unwavering spirit in the beginning. They set about clearing the land. Next unfolded the art of notching and stacking logs, each piece interlocked, without the aid of nails, held steadfast by the embrace of mud and moss. In days of yore, roofs were crafted from split logs or adorned with thatched grass. A testament to the ingenuity of those who came before us. Windows were treasures, few and far between. If they existed, they were diminutive and frequently shrouded in greased paper rather than encased in glass. Within those walls, existence was tough, yet filled with meaning. In a single-room cabin, entire families found their home, often crammed together, a dozen souls or more, all sharing the warmth and stories beneath one roof. In a world where privacy seemed like a distant memory, it was as if the very concept had slipped through our fingers. In the heart of the home, meals were crafted over flickering flames, where the air was thick with the embrace of smoke, wrapping around the small, intimate space. Imagine bedding crafted from straw, lovingly tucked into cloth sacks. The furniture bore the marks of craftsmanship, each piece a testament to hands that shaped it with care and intention. Each piece had its purpose. In a world stripped bare, where the essence of existence overshadowed all else, survival reigned supreme, leaving no space for embellishment. Yet, amidst these challenging circumstances, the essence of life started to unfold. In the heart of the land, gardens blossomed and small livestock roamed, each element weaving a tale of growth and nurturing. In the heart of the woods, little ones scurried about, collecting firewood and drawing water from the sparkling streams that danced nearby. In the heart of the home, women wove their magic through cooking, preserving the bounty of the earth, spinning threads into fabric, and nurturing those in need of care. Brave souls ventured into the wild, pursuing game, setting traps, erecting barriers, and standing guard over their cherished abode when the call to protect arose. With the turn of each season came a fresh tapestry of toil-sowing seeds in the earth, gathering the bounty, felling timber, and carefully storing provisions to weather the cold months ahead. Rest was a fleeting whisper. The neighbors were sparse, scattered like stars in a vast night sky. Yet, in their fleeting moments of existence, they proved to be truly priceless. In the heart of the frontier, families came together, their hands united in the labor of love. They raised barns side by side, shared the sacred moments of childbirth, and celebrated the bounty of the seasons with joyful harvest gatherings. Survival hinged not solely on self-reliance, but also on a delicate tapestry of shared support. In the vast expanse of the American frontier, the wild landscape served as both a generous provider and a formidable foe. Though the land whispered tales of abundance, it demanded a price for its treasures. Each meal savored, each flicker of warmth from the fire, every precious drop of clean water was a testament to hard work, expertise, and resilience. In a world devoid of bustling markets, where the hum of electricity was but a distant memory, the pantries stood empty, echoing the silence of scarcity. Only that which could be cultivated, collected, pursued, or stored away. Food was a daily quest, not merely a convenience. In the early days of their new home, countless families turned to hardtack, salted pork, dried beans, and flour shipped from the east to sustain them. These supplies, though vital, vanished swiftly. The enduring answer lay in the path of self-sufficiency. As the chill of winter receded and the earth began to awaken, the gardens were lovingly sown into the fertile soil. In the heart of the land, corn, beans, squash, and potatoes stood as the foundation of sustenance. In the garden, herbs flourished, serving a dual purpose of enhancing flavor and providing healing remedies. Every bit was cherished. A single failed. Harvest could mean hunger or worse. From the untamed wilds, the meat emerged. In the heart of the wilderness, men and older boys embarked on thrilling quests, pursuing deer, rabbits, and wild turkeys, and occasionally setting their sights on the majestic bison. Devices were laid out to catch the nimble creatures of the wild. In the gentle embrace of warm months, the nearby creeks became a source of sustenance, offering vital protein to those who sought its bounty. Each conquest was a tale of triumph. Each successful forage stands as a small victory against the unknown. Yet the treasures of nature were accompanied by peril. In the wild expanse, bears, wolves, and mountain lions traversed the terrain, while the specter of starvation lingered ominously during harsh seasons. Storing food for the winter was an art that could determine whether one experienced warmth or hardship. In the chill of winter, smokehouses, root cellars, and drying racks became the guardians of sustenance, preserving meat, vegetables, and fruits. For the long, cold months ahead, women crafted jars of jam with care, preserved pork with salt, and pickled every morsel that could find a place in a barrel. As autumn approached, the firewood was piled high, ready to embrace the chill of the season. The hearth radiated warmth, served as the heart of cooking, and embodied the essence of life itself. The weather danced with unpredictability, often revealing its harsh and unforgiving nature. Heavy rains threatened to inundate the fields, casting a shadow over the harvest. In the heart of winter, blizzards have the power to envelop families in a frosty embrace, leaving them cut off from the world for weeks on end. In the relentless grip of drought, once vibrant gardens withered into mere dust. In a dramatic twist of fate, lightning danced through the sky, finding its mark on the unsuspecting cabins. They were laid low by the fury of tornadoes. When the water turned icy or soured, illness swept through like a shadow, claiming its victims swiftly. In a world devoid of safety nets, it was the blend of preparation, a sprinkle of luck, and an unwavering spirit of resilience that guided the journey. Though the frontier is frequently depicted as a place of solitude and hardship, the reality for many pioneers was that they rarely experienced complete isolation. What starts as a solitary cabin in the wilderness can, with time, blossom into a tapestry of homesteads, each one weaving its own tale into the fabric of the land. In the heart of the land, communities unite, woven together by necessity and trust, facing the shared challenge of mastering their environment. Though separated by great distances, neighbors were the threads that wove the fabric of connection. In the absence of formal institutions, families on the frontier leaned on each other for support. Barn raisings, harvests, log rollings, and quilting bees transcended mere chores. Gatherings filled with connection and camaraderie. In a single day, a dozen men could conjure a magnificent structure from the ground up. Women would weave together meals, nurture the little ones, and share tales from distant lands. These moments wove connections deeper than any barrier. They wove survival into a collective journey, in a time when the written word had yet to take its hold. Whispers and tailies carried the news from one ear to another, weaving a tapestry of information through the hearts and minds of the people. A wandering merchant or a guest from a neighboring village might share tailies from lands far beyond, whispers of political upheaval, the ominous shadow of impending conflict, glimpses of indigenous tribes, and the foreboding news of a bitter winter approaching. The news spread swiftly from one cabin to another, igniting curiosity and intrigue among all who heard it. In a time when a family received a letter, it would be read aloud, echoing through the home and shared with friends and neighbors, transforming into a collective glimpse into the wider world. The essence of faith brought people together. Wandering ministers, known as circuit riders, journeyed along extensive paths, sharing their messages in humble cabins, rustic barns, or beneath the vast sky of open fields. Families would embark on long journeys, dedicating hours to reach a Sunday service, transforming it into a day filled with prayer, song, and the warmth of community. In a time when the foundations of law were just beginning to take hold, faith emerged as a guiding light, offering solace and a framework for morality. Knowledge was a rare gem, precious and sought after. It stood as a beacon of hope for those yet to come. When the laughter of children filled the air, families would unite, dreaming of a one-room schoolhouse rising from their shared aspirations. A young woman or an older child could take on the role of a teacher, utilizing a Bible, a slate, and the limited selection of books at their disposal. In the midst of challenges, community events such as spelling bees and holiday gatherings emerged as beacons of joy, weaving a tapestry of normalcy that brought people together. Life on the frontier was a tale of endurance against the elements, woven together with the rich tapestry of diverse peoples, cultures, and their competing claims to the land. As pioneers journeyed into the vast unknown, they crossed into lands that had been home to Native American tribes for generations. For the pioneers, the land unfolded as a beacon of hope. For the indigenous peoples, it was a place of belonging. The outcome unfolded as a gripping, frequently tumultuous interplay of strife and harmony. There were moments of tranquility in the midst of it all. Along the winding paths of the great trails, the exchange of goods and stories flourished, weaving a tapestry of commerce and connection, not in a vibrant tapestry of trade. Settlers bartered their metal tools, cloth, and firearms, weaving connections with the land as they acquired furs, food, and invaluable local wisdom. In times of uncertainty, there were those who stepped forward, guiding families through the unknown landscapes and alerting them to the tempestuous skies ahead. In the tapestry of life, threads of genuine friendship wove together as shared meals, thoughtful gifts, and a profound understanding bridged the chasm of cultural differences. Yet, these moments were delicate, and the force of growth threatened to push them to their limits. With the rise of new homesteads, the air thickened with tensions surrounding land and resources. As settlers ventured forth, they cleared the forests, diverted the flowing waters, and hunted the game, often oblivious or indifferent to the profound connections these lands held for the native nations' connections, woven into the very fabric of their spiritual, economic, and ancestral existence. Agreements were forged, only to be shattered. Vows were spoken, only to fade into silence. Consequently, animosity began to flourish. Encounters unfolded on both fronts. Amidst the shadows of dusk, a sense of unease gripped the hearts of the settlers, for they dreaded the lurking dangers that night might bring. Abodes stood strong, weapons at the ready, little ones instructed to remain silent and concealed. Tales of violence, be they embellished or genuine, spread swiftly and ignited a sense of dread. In that era, the indigenous communities witnessed their lands dwindle, their hunting grounds disappear, and their way of life imperiled by strange laws and unyielding barriers. From the ashes of uncertainty, brave souls banded together, erecting strongholds to safeguard their dreams. Conflicts ignited, ranging from minor skirmishes to grand wars, such as the Black Hawk War and the tumultuous encounters along the Oregon Trail. Some native tribes took up arms, while others sought the path of diplomacy or ventured further west, only to encounter more settlers as time passed. The resolution was anything but simple. Even in the midst of turmoil, moments of collaboration persisted. In the tapestry of history, some Native Americans wove their lives together with those of the settlers, forming bonds through marriage or embracing new beliefs. In the tapestry of history, some settlers wove the wisdom of indigenous farming methods, embraced the healing power of herbal medicine, and learned the art of winter survival techniques. The frontier existed in a realm of uncertainty, a dance between conflict and harmony. In the vast expanse of the American frontier, the essence of survival was woven from threads of grit, strength, and resilience. Among the rugged landscapes and untamed nature, it was the women of the wilderness who, with quiet determination and unwavering spirit, truly personified these remarkable qualities. Though many tales of the frontier focus on men carving paths or battling wolves, it was the strength, wisdom, and resilience of women that wove the fabric of frontier life, day in and day out. Women embraced a multitude of roles, frequently all. At the same time, they were nurturers, healers, educators, cultivators, seekers, and guardians, tasked with laboring from the break of dawn until the stars adorned the night sky. In the early light of dawn, a devoted wife rises to ignite the warmth of the fire, tending to the gentle cow and crafting a nourishing breakfast to start the day. From that point, she crafted butter, repaired garments, cared for the little ones, foraged for herbs, and nurtured the garden. In times of crisis, she brought new life into the world, tended to injuries, and offered comfort to those nearing the end, all without formal training and frequently alone. Yet women ventured beyond the confines of the home. Countless souls toiled in the fields alongside their partners, wielding axes to chop wood or lending their hands to the construction of sturdy cabins. A few ventured forth to pursue the nimble creatures of the wild. As the journey west unfolded, some took the reins of wagons, skillfully guiding oxen and charting a course through the challenging landscape, stepping up when men were injured or absent out in times of loss. A familiar tale unfolded as they embraced the challenge of entire homesteads, nurturing both children and crops with nothing but sheer willpower. Women wove the threads of culture, nurtured knowledge, and ensured the flow of continuity. In remote corners of the world, where schools were but a distant dream, families gathered to impart the gift of literacy to their children, turning to cherished Bibles and borrowed tomes as their guiding lights. They chronicled their lives in diaries, penned heartfelt letters, and meticulously noted recipes and remedies, creating a tapestry of documents that would evolve into vibrant historical records. In their tale-eyes, we glimpse the heart of the frontier, the deep yearning for connection, the battle against solitude, and the subtle satisfaction found in a perfectly baked loaf or a cozy quilt. They became the heart and soul of countless frontier communities, weaving together the threads of spirit and emotion. Women came together to weave a tapestry of prayer meetings, festive celebrations, and supportive networks of mutual aid. In a time of need, a neighbor, unwell and weary, found solace in the warm embrace of broth and the gentle touch of kindness. In the shadow of loss, they gathered to dig the graves, their hearts heavy as they mourned, side by side, got their strength. Whispered rather than shouted, a constant warmth, unwavering like the glow of a hearth fire. For the young ones on the American frontier, existence was shaped not by playthings or lessons, but by the weight of duty, the strength to endure, and the cleverness to adapt. From a tender age, the young ones of the frontier were called upon to play their part in the family's quest for survival. In the tapestry of youth, the threads were woven with toil and resilience, where the chill of long winters and the relentless trials of an untamed landscape forged a story of endurance. For children on the frontier, the rhythm of daily life was shaped by chores, leaving little room for play. Young lads learned the art of chopping wood, the thrill of hunting small game, the responsibility of tending to livestock, and the duty of safeguarding the homestead. In the heart of the household, the girls engaged in a tapestry of tasks. They stirred pots over the fire, spun fibers into threads, tended to the gentle cows, nurtured the garden's bounty, and lovingly watched over their younger siblings. Little ones, barely 5, were entrusted with tasks to accomplish before the morning meal. There was little room for idleness when every pair of hands mattered. Yet, life on the frontier during childhood held its share of joys. Children found time to play with what they had: a rag doll sewn by hand, a carved wooden animal, or a hoop and stick. They crafted games from stones, sticks, or the boundless realms of their imagination, frequently inspired by tales shared around. The warm glow of the hearth in the heart of the countryside. Social gatherings such as harvests and barn dances emerged as precious moments, where laughter and joy intertwined with the spirit of camaraderie. These events provided a unique opportunity for children to connect and revel in the company of their peers, often traveling great distances to partake in the merriment. Education stood as a cherished privilege, elusive and not assured. In numerous areas, the absence of schools was a stark reality. In the places where schools found their footing, they often took the form of humble one-room cabins, where a solitary teacher guided a diverse group of children, spanning various ages, in their quest for knowledge. Classes were brief, and the school calendar danced in harmony with the rhythms of planting and harvest seasons. In a world where books were treasures, the very essence of paper was a precious rarity. Young minds engaged in the art of recitation, etching their thoughts upon slates and committing verses to memory, frequently drawing inspiration from the sacred texts. In the face of adversity, the rugged existence on the frontier shaped values that would be woven into the very fabric of children's lives as they grew into adulthood. Independence, dedication, frugality, and resilience. Young ones discovered the art of nurturing creatures, crafting delicious dishes, and mending their trusty tools, not for the sake of abundance, but for the essence of existence. They experienced the cycles of life and the raw power of nature firsthand, frequently unshielded and without understanding. These experiences wove a tapestry of maturity that surpassed their tender years. Winter on the American frontier was a time that lingered, shaping the lives of those who braved its chill. It was a moment that would reveal the depths of a family's resilience and the strength of their bonds. As the first snow descended, the landscape of the frontier transformed entirely. The paths disappeared. The rivers lay still, encased in a crystalline embrace. The trees, stripped of their leaves, stood like silent sentinels, while the wind howled, piercing through the warmest of woolen garments. For weeks, or perhaps even months, the world outside faded into silence, and survival hinged solely on the preparations made before the chill set in. The cabin stood strong and fortified. In the walls, cracks whispered secrets, filled with moss, clay, or cloth, each telling a tale of time's passage. The firewood stood tall, a fortress of logs awaiting the warmth of the flames. A multitude of it, for when the snow arrived, venturing out for more could lead to frostbite or something far graver. The hearth transformed into the very soul of the dwelling. The flames danced tirelessly, casting a warm glow throughout the cabin, preparing meals and providing a delicate semblance of normal life in the midst of the chill. The art of preserving food held immense importance. In times of scarcity, Families who did not properly salt their meat, dry their vegetables, or store sufficient grain faced the harsh reality of hunger. Deep within the earth, root cellars were carved out, their walls lined with straw for warmth, and filled to the brim with potatoes, onions, and jars of homemade preserves, each telling a tale of sustenance and care. The meals, though uncomplicated, carried a weight of substance. Hearty stews, warm cornbread, sweet dried fruit, and nourishing beans, all crafted to extend their reach as far as the heart can imagine. Yet, amidst the gnawing hunger and biting cold, it was the specter of loneliness that loomed as a peril all its own. Weeks could drift by, with nary a glimpse of another being. Snowdrifts wove a tapestry of challenges, rendering travel nearly impossible. Missives from the distant east trickled in, often delayed, if they arrived at all. In the heart of the woods, a deep silence enveloped everything, creating an atmosphere thick with mystery. For some, particularly women and children, the isolation grew increasingly intolerable. In the shadows of isolation, where whispers of unease lingered, the weight of anxiety and the heaviness of despair often went unvoiced. Families wove their moments together with the threads of what they possessed, weaving tailies, sharing sacred texts, repairing garments, crafting implements, or stitching together quilts. In a cozy nook, little ones engaged in their own imaginative worlds, discovering the art of self-entertainment amidst the limited space and gentle stillness around them. Each day unfolded beneath the warm embrace of the fire's flickering light and the treasures tucked away in the cellar. Yet, amidst the harshest chill, resilience began to flourish. Winter unfolded as a time of anticipation, a pause filled with hope for the sun to peek over the horizon a bit sooner, for the snow to yield its grip, and for the ground to awaken once more beneath weary footsteps. As the gentle embrace of spring arrived, bringing with it the soft murmur of thawing creeks and the sweet songs of returning birds, the frontier families stepped out from their cabins, leaner yet filled with the spirit of survival. As the 19th century drew to a close, the once vibrant American frontier started to wane. Iron tracks wove through the expansive plains. Settlements blossomed where only trees had stood, and the once boundless wild was now marked by fences and titles. Yet the tale of the frontier, with its rich culture, enduring values, and captivating myths, continued to resonate long after the final wagon wheel rolled into the sunset. In the year 1890, the U.S. Census boldly proclaimed that the frontier had reached its end. The land lay before us, its contours etched and its boundaries defined, a tapestry of ownership woven through time. Homesteads transformed into farms, cabins evolved into towns, and territories blossomed into states. What was once a perilous and erratic frontier of civilization has now transformed into the very heart of the nation. Yet the tale of the frontier lingered profoundly within the essence of American identity, molded by the experiences of those who had lived through it. The pioneers who ventured into the frontier created a legacy that extended far beyond mere log cabins and split-rail fences. They departed from a legacy shaped by independence, determination, and creativity. The notion that an individual could shape their own destiny through hard work and determination became a cornerstone of the American dream. The spirit of the frontier celebrated the virtues of toil, the quest for liberty, and the strength of self-reliance, themes that continue to resonate through today's culture, politics, and tales passed down through generations. Yet, this legacy wove a tapestry of complexity. The very growth that opened doors for settlers also inflicted profound suffering on the indigenous populations. Communities were uprooted, agreements shattered, traditions altered or erased. The very fabric of the landscape had been irrevocably transformed. Woodlands stripped bare, streams rerouted, creatures pursued to the brink of disappearance. The victory of the frontier brought forth consequences that could never be undone. Yet, the tales persisted. The chronicles of the frontier, the spoken tales, and the cherished family myths preserved the essence of those formative years. Legends emerged, figures such as Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett, alongside women like Laura Ingalls Wilder, embodying bravery and resilience. Their journeys became woven into tales, melodies, and eventually cinematic experiences. The truth frequently bore a heavier weight than the tale, yet the narrative held profound significance. Today, echoes of the frontier still linger. Time-worn cabins, the tracks of wagons etched into the earth, and gravestones shaped by skilled hands tell tales of the past. While museums and historic sites safeguard the artifacts of the past, the real treasure is found in the lasting spirit of possibility that the frontier ignited. The conviction that an individual, regardless of their beginnings, can reinvent themselves, face challenges, and create a lasting legacy.